The app becomes part of the Dash with a seamless way to listen to your favorite radio stations, the latest must-hear podcast, or a custom playlist to get you focused. And with the holidays on the horizon, the app makes the perfect shopping companion while you search for the ultimate parking spot.
There it is!
Try Apple CarPlay or Android Auto with the iHeart app today.
From the Engles studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Engles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat. It's that simple. You got the ability to super chat as well. The best comments always get highlighted here on the program. Today, we're going to play the fun game of NFL Coach Matchmaker.
Hey, we've got some eligible bachelors and some eligible football teams. See which one gets matched up with your team later on today.
He's putting on his best Chuck Woolery. That made me feel weird inside.
You make me feel weird inside.
Well, I should. That's my goal in life, is to make everybody feel just a little uncomfortable.
Basically, every time you walk in this door, I go, I don't like that I'm behind a soundproof door with you.
Oh, man, it is another day here in the Sportsocracy. We welcome everybody into the program. Don't forget, coming up this weekend, the Engles Living the Dream Tour back on the road. Kinda. We're doing the staycation thing this weekend in support of our good friends over at Silverados and the Social in East Asheville, supporting the Valley Strong Relief Organization. We'll be there all day long. Come on by and see us. Hang out with us.
Have a beer with us. We won't be on live the whole day. The plan as of now is to do a pre-kickoff show, a 3:30 kind of recap, and then a 7 o'clock pre-kickoff of my Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, God.
I haven't had the chance to do that yet. That felt pretty good. Before they go full-on face mush, why are you hitting yourself to take Georgia Bulldogs?
Before they get kicked out of the playoff?
Well, you already have been. So they put that list out, and they went, you know what? I don't think we're going to include the Fighting Carson Becks because they are poopy.
Oh, not quite. But the college football playoff second round of rankings came out last night. Georgia Bulldogs coming in 12th in the ranking.
But
the problem,
in the effort of fairness, we had to cut you out so we could get Boise State. Woo!
Isn't everybody excited to see Ashton Gianti on the field against Texas?
That's going to be a no from me, Bob.
Oh, but come on. He averages 700 yards a game.
Against West Valdosta State, Bob.
He's going to set the record. Is he still on track to set the record? Is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
Which is unbelievable to think about. If he's not that guy averages like 180 yards a game, if not more. And the fact that he's not knocking down the door of the Barry Sanders record for most rushing yards in a college football season is baffling to me. And that should tell everybody how freaking unbelievable Barry Sanders was
Barry
in 1988.
Sanders was real good at football.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, now you know.
That Oklahoma State, I just wish I was old enough to remember it.
I just remember Barry playing for the Lions going, man, why is the team around him not gooder than they are? Because he's real gooder than everybody else.
He is real gooder. We were spoiled. Us kids of the 90s were spoiled to have Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith.
Okay, we were spoiled on a football field. Everywhere else, I don't think after the last two generations, you can say we were spoiled for squat. I don't like how the election went. I have to take a week off school. Okay, so that's fine. You just sit in your room and play video games. It'll be fine.
Just get in your safe space, Johnny.
Just put on your cat paws and get in your safe space. It's fine. Well, they can call us spoiled, all right? Mm-hmm. We had things better than our parents did. I mean, they played with rocks and sticks, many of which they threw at each other.
I mean, I just feel like, to me, the 90s and the early 2000s were just like the heyday of everything sports-wise.
Of course it was. And you know what that means? That you're officially getting old. True. Because every generation that's older than us would say the same thing about their childhood.
Yeah, probably.
We had O.J. Simpson and Tony Dorsett. Well, one of them killed people and the other one's crazy. I met him. Trust me. He's right. That guy has got more hype in him than I do right now, and I've accidentally had 3 monsters already today. Mm-hmm. I'm smelling sounds and tasting colors. My resting heart rate right now looks like my IQ, which is higher than you want it to be.
We had the best running backs. We had the best quarterbacks. We had the best wide receivers. The best coaches. It was just a generation unlike any other.
And Hubert Queen in our YouTube chat, who's a little bit older than us, said we had Bo Jackson and Barry Sanders. Or Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, excuse me. He's got a point. You could do that with every generation. Now, here's why.
They were in the same generation.
They were the generation before. Bo was a little older than Barry. Deion had a crossover.
I was going to say, Deion was like a rookie in 1989?
No,
so,
yes. Yeah, he was in the 89 draft.
Yeah, so Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, they both came in 90. So, or one Jackson came in 89.
Bo Jackson was 5 years before that. So, look, we could all do that. Now, here's why I wanted to talk about this to start the show.
Okay.
I feel like we're in a golden age of college football. And we didn't even actually realize that it was happening.
Okay.
And I have a theory as to why it's happening. Have you noticed a trend in college football? Have you noticed a lot more freshmen are contributing to teams? Mm-hmm. Right now, the best 2 receivers in college football, who are they?
Oh, I don't know. Luther Burden and...
Not for me.
Titaroa?
Not for me.
No.
That's the top 2 in this class. Top 2 receivers in college football are Ryan Williams at Alabama and Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. Guess what? They're both 18-year-old freshmen. I don't often say I was wrong. And I'm not going to say I was wrong because a lot of what I said about NIL was right. But there was an unintended consequence that I did not expect. Now you get the 5-star blue-chip wide receiver. That kid has to play immediately. Because if he doesn't play immediately, guess where he's headed?
Gone.
Somewhere else. And I didn't realize it, but it was amping up parity in college football in a way that I could never have expected. Because now you look at teams, ancillary teams, that are starting quarterbacks that started somewhere else. I think we have a ton of parity at quarterback. If I asked you the 5 best quarterbacks in college football, you and I would probably give at minimum 8 different answers.
Yeah.
I think the only commonality between you and I would probably be Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I think we'd have 3 completely different answers. Because I don't think you'd have Dylan Gabriel on your list.
No.
I certainly would.
No.
I certainly would. And you look at the standings that just came out, who would be your favorite? Right now, you have to pick a team to win the national title. Who is it?
Oregon.
Okay. I can't dispute that. I'm not sure that I agree with you. But who would be your 2?
Probably Ohio State.
They're certainly not mine. I've seen Ohio State.
Who's your 2?
Probably Texas. I'm not sure Texas isn't my 1. Yeah, Texas lost a game to Georgia. I get it. Everybody has a loss outside of Indiana and Oregon. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to level with you. Indiana would be higher on my list than you want them to be. because that team is really, really good, and I have a funny feeling they're getting ready to go into the shoe and show you exactly what Ohio State is.
It'll be a good coming out party for them, for me anyway.
Oh, the coming out
I haven't watched
a
single second of Indiana football this year.
You should, because, they're number 5 in the country for a reason. They're number 5 in the country, and they could win the Big Ten, and it wouldn't shock me in the least.
You're number 5 in the country because you're in the Big Ten and you're undefeated.
Are you saying you're not impressed?
No, I'm not impressed. I'm impressed. I'm as impressed by them as anybody would be going against the schedule that they win.
But you're impressed by Ohio State.
You've taken care of business.
Okay, but you're impressed by them. You're impressed by Ohio State, but you're not impressed by Indiana.
Not really.
Why? Because they beat Penn State?
No, because I know them. I know their players.
You just said that they would be your second favorite to win the national title.
Sure, they beat Penn State. At least that's one.
Woo! We beat a team.
What do you mean
can't
woo?
Score.
They're the number 4 team in the country.
We beat a team that can't score. Awesome! Yay! Penn State's proven absolutely nothing. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
Is that now we've gotten to a point where beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Best win on the board, Ole Miss has number 1, I think. Beating Georgia the way they did. Not just that you won, beating them the way you did is insanely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Georgia has number 2, beating Texas the way they did.
Yes.
You got some a little bit of help there, but, official's going to official. You would have won regardless. I'm just not as impressed by the final score as I was by Ole Miss.
Okay.
They mushed your face for 60 minutes
mm-hmm.
with a quarterback on 1 foot, which is why when I started looking at the rankings going, Ole Miss would sneak in, man, I don't want to play Ole Miss because to me, Ole Miss is every bit as talented as Ohio State. They've just played a way more difficult schedule, and they lost a game that they 100% shouldn't have. I look at Indiana. When I watch them play, they look better than Ohio State. Miami, outside of this game they just played and a complete inability to tackle, they look better than Ohio State. Texas is as good as anybody in the country. That's where I'm headed with this. Is that I said I wasn't necessarily in favor of a 12-team playoff because I don't think you can fill it with 12 teams that are going to be actual contenders. And I still don't think you're going to fill it with 12. I think you're going to fill it with 11. Because you got to put in little Boise State, who plays on his cute little blue Smurf turf and has his little running back that stands up when he gets the ball, and they're going to get obliterated. BYU, who probably gets obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a team that's beating nobody? Let's talk about BYU for a minute. Okay, the Fighting John Smiths have played a schedule that I'm not going to lie to you would not be impressive in some high schools. But they beat Kansas State. Sweet. Their second best wins, Oklahoma State, who hasn't won a game in what feels like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And their last 3 games are with Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston.
But that's what you get. Woo! But that's what you get for being in a Power 4 conference.
To me,
BYU is one of the top 3 or one of the top 4 seeds.
If I'm an AD of a school right now, and I play in any of the Power 4 conferences, moving forward, I will play out whatever non-conference games I've played. And from there, you're going to get a sweet dose of roast beef tech, the culinary school for the blind, and maybe an insane asylum. Like, I'm not playing anybody that's even competent. I want you to not even know where the ball's supposed to go. I will play every smaller tier $1 million payout game that I can because why wouldn't I? What is the benefit of playing a high-level non-conference game? There's not one. Because exactly what you said.
Yeah.
I trust Ohio State. Do you know who they played in the non-conference? There are 3 non-conference games. How many of them do you think you can get right?
Oh, did they play Kent State?
No, you got 2 in that conference, but you got the wrong one.
Bowling Green.
You're still got Akron. Who they beat 52-6. Western Michigan, who they beat 56-0, and Marshall.
Yeah.
There's your 3 non-conference games for Ohio State, but they get the benefit of the doubt because they're Ohio State. They've played outside of Penn State 1 team that was even competent. 1 more that I think is average in Nebraska that's just not there yet. You struggled with Nebraska. You lost to Oregon. You squeaked one out against Penn State where they got inside the 5-yard line twice and couldn't score. If you watch that game, I promise you didn't walk away from that going, that's a great win for Ohio State. You walked away going, you are the luckiest team in college football that James Franklin is incompetent offensively. I don't need to play non-conference games. I don't want to play non-conference games because there's no benefit to me. Ohio State has played Little Sisters of the Blind, Sisters of Mercy. I think there might be a Meals on Wheels team in there somewhere. I mean, literally, these are charity teams you've played. They just beat Purdue 45-0. Mm-hmm. But you still believe in them. I don't think you should, because when I watch the games, they don't look like an elite team. But really, neither does anybody else.
That's kind of where I'm at. I've got Oregon, who is at the top, has already dispatched the number 2 team in the country. They're the only ones that have proved that they belong there right now. Like if we were in the old BCS system, remember we're only getting 1 and 2, and that's it. And the computer's got to decide. Well, Oregon is there. From there, it's all just a mishmash to me. I'm still shocked that Miami's ranked higher than us.
Why are you shocked at that?
I just don't believe that they've been tested.
But you have.
Yes.
So you have been tested.
Yes.
Who you been tested by?
Texas.
Okay. You got
Alabama.
Who beat
Ole
you?
Miss. I get we lost those games, but still.
Who beat you and savaged you for 3 quarters? Mm-hmm. Ole Miss, who savaged you for 4 quarters. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is better, at least from an aesthetic point of view, to get through your schedule of nobodies than to play 3 competent teams and get savaged by 2 of them. I'm not surprised. To be honest with you, I'm shocked Miami fell as far as they did. I'm stunned they fell as far as they did because they're good. That's what this is. Mm-hmm. It's a beauty contest. Mm-hmm. Fact or fiction, they have the best quarterback in America.
Fact.
I don't even think it's debatable.
Yeah.
That's going to win out over Hannah Cavender's boyfriend, who looks like he died sometime in the middle of October.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, in terms of a beauty contest, you're going to lose with 2 losses. Mm-hmm. I don't really care who you played because you struggled with Kentucky. Mm-hmm. You struggled with Mississippi State, who I'm not 100% sure when they practice with a ball. I'm not sure they don't just go out there and run around in a field for 2 hours like, good job, boys. We're doing stuff. Yeah. We're Mississippi State, but somebody gets cowbells.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There shouldn't be an ACC team in this. If you ask me, there shouldn't be a Big 12 team in this.
Well,
we should just do Big 10 versus SEC and be done with it.
Well, and see, that's the problem. Everybody wanted fair.
Sure.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't disagree with you. Mm-hmm. I look at Miami and go, if Miami played Georgia, what would happen?
Precisely.
Because they're not going to be able to tackle you.
No.
But then you get into the schedule has to matter, and you keep allocating these conferences, and you have to give them their pat on the head, or what are they playing for?
Exactly.
Because then it becomes the Mountain West. We play games against nothing, and you'd still rather watch Saturday Night Live.
I mean, Oregon would be 1. Texas would be 2. I'm good. That would be awesome. Number 3 is BYU, and number 4 is Miami. Those are your 4 buys. Should it start right now? And that is disgusting.
I long said the buys should go to the 4 best teams, not the conference winners.
Precisely.
That's dumb. As long as we've got 20 teams in the Big Ten and we've got 16 in the SEC, I'm sorry. You're never going to convince me the 4 best teams in college football were the conference winners.
I mean, I never really thought about it until this moment of, okay, so Texas and Oklahoma leave the Big 12, Oregon, and it's now just dawning on me. Who's left in those conferences?
Now, it's funny you asked that because now, after the break, I didn't preface Tank of what I was going to ask. Which means,
I always love these.
Oh yeah, because it means he has to think on the fly. And It's always funny for me to watch him dance. Like,
yeah, you got to watch the hamsters run in real time.
Yeah, the smoke comes out of his ears. It's a sight to behold. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to ask you who your top 12 would be. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you a completely different question because I think it matters more than any of the rest of this does. Mm-hmm. These rosters are way closer than you want them to be. Miami's super talented.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking just Jimmys and Joes, Miami's better than your Georgia Bulldogs are.
Really?
For sure. Not even close.
Wow.
Offensively, you don't have a Xavier Restrepo. Sorry, you don't. That kid is open all the time. And quarterback matters more than anything else. You don't have anybody in his ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason that I trust Georgia more than I trust Miami. I'm going to ask you what that is after the break, and we're going to do a little makeshift power ranking. On the fly, if you will.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Who should be in, who should be out? College football playoff rankings came out last night. And, that's your top 4 right now. Top 4 seeds in this playoff would be Oregon, Texas, BYU, and Miami.
And we have a super chat that steers into my question. We'll read that when we come back. And if you like watching Tank get really uncomfortable, because I'm going to walk out the studio door as soon as the commercial starts, and I'm not going to tell him where this is headed.
We'll be right back.
FEMA is hiring people in Durham, Hickory, and Asheville to support North Carolina's Tropical Storm Helene recovery efforts. Many different positions are available for a wide range of skill sets, including planning, communications, logistics, and community engagement. Be a part of helping your community heal and rebuild. To see all open positions and to apply, visit usajobs.gov and type keywords FEMA and local hire. Then enter your location as North Carolina.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do.
Saturday, November 30th, the Orange Peel presents Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. Get your tickets now online at theorangepeel.net. Don't miss Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, live November 30th. See you at the Peel.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Money Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Money Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Money Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
At Lowe's, we want to make sure you have everything to begin the path to recover after Hurricane Helene. Count on us for help with cleanup and repair. We've got necessities like roofing, lumber, and electrical in the quantities you need. We're here for your community. Visit Lowe's in-store or online to find out about relief efforts in your area or get emergency supplies now.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Engles, we're with you every step of the way.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all this, burn it, okay? Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. according to the College Football Playoff Committee, Georgia does not have a seat at the table with their 2 losses. And they got to win. I mean, you just got to win out now. Now you got to go in and you got to beat Tennessee this weekend, which, I mean, Carson Beck, the way he's playing, I don't like your chances.
Against that defense, that's going to be you also have to realize that you need this game way more than Tennessee does.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee loses at Georgia. They're still just a 2-loss SEC team.
Right.
That has UTEP and Vanderbilt left.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee probably gets in even with a loss.
Yes.
Georgia has no shot of getting in with a loss. So I'm not going to be shocked if in Sanford Stadium you just I will not say I think you're going to score a ton of points on Tennessee. I could also see that game being really gross.
Mm-hmm.
But we have our first super chat of the day, and it really steers into what I'm getting ready to ask you about college football.
Okay.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from Soaring Eagle, and he said he's an Ohio State fan. I don't care if we win a playoff game, fire Ryan Day, and do whatever it takes to get Kirk Cignetti to Columbus. And that leads me to the question that I'm going to ask. If you had to power rank the coaches among teams that are currently either in the playoff or within enough striking distance that they're still relevant,
mm-hmm.
Who's your one?
Ooh.
Who's your one?
Well, I mean, Kirby.
Kirby's not my one. I'll go ahead and tell you he's not my one.
Kirby's up there.
Kirby's a defensive head coach that I've seen get – Kirby is as good of a recruiter as we have in college football. I'm not sure he's as great of an in-game coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't agree with you there. He has the best track record, but if I'm going on your track record, I got to look at Dabo Swinney as a positive too, and I don't. I don't think he's your best in-game coach.
Mm-hmm. Is it Kirk Cignetti?
He's up there real high.
Really?
He's up there really, really high because he does more with less. He always has. He started 10-0 last year too, or 9-0 at James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
He's done this everywhere he's ever been. I think that's why Indiana's so good, is because they have a coach that in terms of X's and O's, he's just going to out-scheme you. Then you add in the fact he's got a very senior quarterback, because that would be the flip side of this coin. Rank the quarterbacks. That's what we always ask. Who has the best coach? Who has the best quarterback? Who's at home? Because Curtis Rourke's going to be up there pretty high. Dylan Gabriel's going to be up there pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn Ewers is going to be up there pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a whole lot of Nico Iamaleava, who I love your talent, but man, I watch you and go, are we sure?
Uh-huh.
And Carson Beck.
Nope. He's definitely not on the list. Jalen Milroe.
Because you're going to tell me I'm crazy when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
My number one coach would probably be Lane Kiffin. In terms of just X's and O's. Defensively, he's not great. Now he's got so much defensive talent that I'm not sure it matters. And that defense is getting better. I just watched what they did to your team in awe of, I didn't think anybody could do this to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got to have a mess of players, and they do.
They do.
And they do. I look at Lane Kiffin. Kirby Smart obviously would be up there. He's not my one because I'm building to something with who the one would be.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Lanning would be up there. Kirk Cignetti would be up there. The ones that are going to fall by the wayside are the James Franklins, the Josh Heupels, Marcus Freeman, Mario Cristobal, Kalen DeBoer. You kind of fall by the wayside because I've never seen you do anything to this level.
Right.
Kirk Cignetti hasn't done it in the FBS.
And see, to me, that's why Kirby has to be at the top, because he's the only one of this bunch that you've seen do it.
Then if that's your mantra, then you would have to say that Clemson has to be at least debatably still within this, because they're a 2-loss team.
Yeah,
well, they got the best coach.
I guess so.
He's got 3 national titles. We got to talk about him.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way. That's the reason I can't go, what's good for one's not good for the other.
True.
Kirby Smart hires better than any coach in college football, and he is a master recruiter. They've had so much talent that's always just kind of been enough for you to win.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it ironic that the first time they have 2 losses in the regular season, is the most parity we've ever seen? Because I don't. I don't think he's that good of an in-game coach. I think he's a really good defensive coach.
Oh, I think he's a hell of a defensive coach, and I think he's the best head coach in college football. The problem I have is that he doesn't control the offense
at all, and he has to cede it to Mike Bobo.
Dumbass Mike Bobo's job,
and he ceded that to Mike Bobo. You got to take all that in.
Yeah, I guess,
because half the time you're on the field, Kirby Smart literally has about as much influence on this as I do.
Mm-hmm.
That comes in play. Lane Kiffin runs his own offense.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Lanning is not an offensive guy. He's a defensive guy.
Yep.
He has a say in the offense, and it shows because he's the one going, go for it. I got a senior quarterback that I think has played 700 games in college football somehow. I think Dylan Gabriel got into college football when I was still in college.
Mm-hmm. It's actually Roman Gabriel's brother.
No doubt. It's actually Roman Gabriel reincarnated. He's played 9,000 football games, and he's the Rain Man of college football.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm looking at this going, there is no Nick Saban. There's no Nick Saban that's just infallible. Nick had to be the answer. Now you've got beauties in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
You say it's Kirby Smart. I say it's either Lane Kiffin, Kirk Cignetti, because it's in game. Now, talent-wise, we're awfully close. Because all those guys that played for Georgia that didn't get time, guess where they've gone? Elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys at Alabama that left when Nick Saban left, guess where they've gone? They're peppered throughout this list. So now you're not going to be able to just out-talent me. You're going to have to be able to out-coach me.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Steve Sarkisian, who I haven't even mentioned yet. Steve Sarkisian's a good coach. He's a good coach that had, I'll say, one too many snorts of Jack Daniels at a party, and everybody went drunk. And you just forgot about him, like he didn't exist. What he's done at Texas is unbelievable. Nobody else has been able to do this. Not since Mac Brown. He deserves at least some flowers.
Sure.
And now you're going to have to go through and beat 3 of these guys. This isn't, hey, we just get into a playoff and maybe I catch Ryan Day, who never wins big games. Maybe I catch Brian Kelly, who never wins big games. Maybe I catch Marcus Freeman, who never wins big games. Maybe last year I catch Kalen DeBoer or TCU or whoever else. Nah, dog. Now you got to go through and beat 3 of these. And I'm leaning on who's got the best quarterback and who's got the best coach. And the team I don't want to see is Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Because that's the best combination I got.
Mm-hmm.
Miami has a great quarterback. Mario Cristobal is not a very good coach. Great recruiter. Not a great in-game coach.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Heupel, great recruiter. I don't know how good of an in-game coach you are. I know I watch you run halfback dive a lot like we're playing college football 25. Sometimes to a maddening point. And I think this is going to be as fun as we've ever had.
Sure. I feel like this past weekend was, for Georgia anyway, it was a wake-up call. Because you've been able to out-physical everybody, right, over the last 3 years. What was it? We were on a, was it like 57-game winning streak against teams not named Alabama in the regular season? And this weekend, Ole Miss sent you a message that you're not going to come in here and just overpower us like you do everybody else or like you have for the last 3 years. You're not going to do that anymore.
Nope.
It's a different game, right? You were able to do that against Texas, and you got away with it. You know, Alabama was just, that's Alabama. That always happens. That seems to always happen when these two teams get together, and you decided to, FAFO for 3 quarters, and then you couldn't pull the comeback at the end. Ole Miss, Georgia this week.
Yeah.
That game, they went in and said, not in our house, buddy.
We have more talent than you, and we're going to hurt your feelings. And they did.
And they did.
And that was without their best player.
Yeah, they controlled it.
They didn't even have Trey Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at that team, and I'm not trying to die on the sword or anything like that because I liked Ole Miss a lot coming into this year. I don't really care where you're seated. I don't care. If you're telling me Ole Miss has to go into BYU, I'm not worried about that in the least.
Yeah, I love Kalani Sitake, but I don't think I'm taking him over Lane Kiffin.
I'm just not.
No.
If you're telling me he has to go into Notre Dame, yeah, sorry, you're going to need more than touchdown Jesus on your side. because you are not in the ballpark of them talent-wise,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
GG Gambling in our YouTube chat said, I think this specific college football playoff is going to show the difference between coaches. That's exactly what I'm trying to say, is that now we all have talent. There is no big bad dog on the block. Oregon looks like the best team. They have the best win. They struggled with Boise State. They've done a lot of good in the Big Ten, but they've done a lot of good in the Big Ten against the worst teams in that conference. I don't think you can feel much better about any roster than any other roster. There's 8 that I could legitimately say are top 8 rosters in this. But I'm coming back to the coaches, going, who do I look at and go, that guy has an advantage on a sideline? And maybe I'm early on Kirk Cignetti, but I don't think I am. That's a guy that learned at the side of Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
He was a receivers coach at Alabama for several years. And then as a head coach has done nothing but win. And if you don't believe me, ask him. He'll tell you. Those shirts of I win, Google me. As a marketing guy, dude, I don't know if you said that off the cuff, but that was brilliant.
But I mean, a guy like that has to come in with that kind of fire. Right, if you're going to prove to anybody that you're going to do anything and that you're going to turn an irrelevant program into a contender, which he's done in 1 year, nobody knows. I mean, the average fan doesn't know who the hell he is. Nobody watched James Madison football. You had the nice little story.
I did,
you know, you got
replaced Mike Houston.
Well, of course. I mean, dyed-in-the-wool college football fans, people that follow the betting markets and stuff, we know who that is. But more casual fans like me, I might have seen him coach 2 games. I haven't seen him coach a single game this year because not one game I've thought has earned my eyeballs.
Oh, Nebraska did.
But now
that big noon kickoff with Nebraska, and I guess that's why I'm so high on him, is that you get a coach like that hasn't had the eyeballs, and then you get that whole Fox circus that shows up. I mean, look, we're an ESPN broadcast, but Fox does a good job in the mornings too.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'm not just gonna put my fingers in my ears because of the 4-letter symbol on the wall.
Right.
ESPN does a better job.
Mm-hmm.
Fox does a formidable job too. And so you've got a lot of people outside of this place. And I'm not going to lie, I was incredibly impressed. Then ESPN showed up there.
Be.
And guess what? They were good again.
Yeah, but now this week, right? This week with Ohio State, this is where everybody gets
Next
to be
week.
or excuse me, next week. This is where everybody gets to be clued in on oh, crap. Well, maybe Indiana football is worth something watching because you can do the same thing I just did, pull up their schedule and go, well, it's more impressive that Boise State is undefeated. Not really. I mean, I'm being hyperbolic here, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you look at that schedule and you go, their toughest game was Washington, and they're not even good anymore.
Washington's fine. Nebraska's fine. Michigan's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more impressed that you were able to go toe for toe with Michigan. Yeah, I know it was in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care. That's a really good defense.
No.
And that was a stress test.
That's why I picked that on Friday as one of my games to go to, because regardless of how lopsided these two teams are this year, that's still a historic thing to happen. Indiana football has never been this good. Indiana football has never been, we can walk in and punch Michigan in the mouth and have an undefeated season going into facing the number 2 team in the country in a week.
Gambit fan has a question before we go to break that I think we do need to tackle.
Okay.
He said, asking for my alma mater's sake, any chance Louisville gets in, or are they truly out? I'm going to say what Heather Dinich wouldn't say last night.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got 3 losses, you ain't making this thing. You're just not. I don't care what conference you play in. 3-loss Georgia, you're not in. You're just not, because it's impossible for me to explain how I put you in over a series of 2-loss teams. And you're probably going to have a series of 1-loss teams, too.
Well, you always have the hope that maybe, just maybe, the other teams in your conference are going to lose games and put you in the championship. You win the championship, you're in. And you're going to be one of those top 4 seeds from the ACC. The problem is, I mean, Clemson has South Carolina left. So, and you beat them, so you'd have the tiebreaker if y'all ended up
South
with
Carolina's
3
in
losses.
the SEC.
Did I say? I meant Clemson. Clemson has South Carolina left.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter for the conference. Clemson's played all their conference games. Or they have one left, and it's against a nobody.
That's true. They'd have to get another loss in conference play.
They would have to get to a 3-team. They would have to be in a 3-way tie.
And
they would need Clemson to lose at Pittsburgh.
Because that's the only chance they have. That's the only conference game they have left.
And Miami has 2, but I don't think either one of them are against anybody good.
It's Wake Forest and Syracuse. There you go. Syracuse, you never know. Their coach might have them motivated. More on that.
I was about to say, I think you have a story about their coach. I don't see a way a 3-loss team's getting in because I don't see a way a 3-loss team is getting into their conference championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And you're certainly not making it as an at-large.
No, and
we only have 7 spots.
Right. SMU is a given for the ACC championship game.
I don't think there's a way that they're not in it, is there?
If they lose, but they have Boston College at Virginia and Cal left. I don't think they're losing any of those games.
And they'd have to lose 2 of them.
But right, and even if they did lose one of those games, they still only have 1 loss, so they would be in the championship. So really, you're looking for Clemson or Miami to fall off. Meanwhile, you have to win out, which is not going to be hard. You got Stanford. You'll beat the crap out of them this week because they're terrible. You got Pittsburgh the next week.
That's not an easy game.
It's not easy, but it's a game you can win. The problem is you need help from either Miami or Clemson, and I don't think it's coming.
I don't either.
So sorry about your luck. There's not another team from the ACC getting in. It's the champion and nothing else.
I don't know that I can agree with you on
that. If Clemson upsets, I guess it would be enough.
Miami,
upset.
SMU win out. They play each other in the ACC championship game. They both get in. Specifically if SMU wins. Miami wins out, they're going to go in as like the 7, and I don't think they're going to fall enough.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
Okay.
I would be shocked if you could have the best quarterback in the country, even losing in your conference championship game. There is a path. There's also a path that the Big 12 gets 2 teams in. Because if BYU goes undefeated and loses to Colorado in the Big 12 championship.
Oh, God.
Sorry,
if we have Colorado in this.
Oh, there's a great chance you're going to.
Ugh.
There's a great chance you're going to. Colorado wins out, they're in. They play Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State. Then they get a crack at BYU. Sorry, I can't say without laughing. And then there's a possibility.
Watch that happen. Watch the ACC and the Big 12 both end up getting 2 teams in this thing, and then see what
Georgia and Alabama get left out.
You just see what kind of uprising happens or what kind of stink gets raised when Georgia, Alabama, maybe Tennessee, if they lose to Georgia this week, maybe they get left out. You're going to see what's the commissioner's name in the SEC? Bowlesby?
No.
Bowlesby's in the Big 12. That was the 12.
You're talking about Greg Sankey.
Greg Sankey. You see what happens when Greg Sankey starts campaigning, wait a minute, we need to change this right now.
And you know what's going to happen? People like me are going to go, you know this was your rules, right?
You worked this out.
You worked this out. You did this to yourself.
No doubt.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have any sympathy for you, bruh.
And it's either, you can look at it, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? This is either the greatest parity we've ever had in the run-up to a college football championship run, right? BCS or the 4-team playoff or whatever. This is either the greatest parity that we've ever had, or it's the grossest thing you've ever seen.
I tend to believe it's the former.
I do too.
I think this is the parity that I did not expect, because I thought every heavy hitter would have so much money that they could just buy players. Well, they did. The problem is that now you've got freshmen that are contributing early, and if I'm a freshman that thinks I'm as good as Ryan Williams or as good as Jeremiah Smith, and they're playing at Alabama and Ohio State, and I'm not playing at LSU, I got some questions.
That's one of those things I tried to tell you, though, in the run-up to all of this, that one of the unintended consequences of this was going to end up being those guys don't want to sit and just collect a check. I want to play. I need to get to the league. If they're not going to let me play at Alabama, I don't care if I'd make more money as the backup quarterback at Alabama. I need to start. I need to play. And those guys are going elsewhere, and this is where we're at. Now we're at a muddled middle where we don't really know what's happening. There's 4 weeks left, right, in the regular season. And other than Oregon being at the top, we can't agree on nothing.
And just, I want you to remember I said this. Texas has one of these guys right now, Jonte Cook, was one of the top recruits in the country. He didn't play enough as a freshman. He got his little feelings hurt about it, and he's already left the team. Mm-hmm. He's not even finishing out the season. Already getting 7-figure offers from other schools.
Yep.
He had 22 catches or something like that. Already getting $1 million offers. College football has gotten exponentially more awesome, and I'll admit, I didn't see it coming, and I was wrong about it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off to showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning up near 50, so some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at NissanUSA.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Nothing says welcome home like insanely clean carpets from Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. For a limited time, get 3 rooms cleaned for just $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Bunny Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Bunny Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Bunny Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Engles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Engles. Low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
There are great motivators in football, head coaches. We were talking about some of the best ones around the country. And there are a lot of great motivators in our game. I have never heard about this being a motivation or a punishment before for a player or a coach. I mean, Jeremy, you spent more time in locker rooms than I did. But I mean, how prevalent were the superstitions, Mr. 13s?
Oh, trust me, I ain't the only one.
Mr. I got 13s tattooed all over my body.
7 of them.
Superstitions come into play in football.
1, 2, 3,
Syracuse Orange football head coach, Fran Brown.
Now, this is a superstition that I, as a cleanman, I cannot endorse.
He says that, just to sum it up in a couple of words, he says only winners get washed. Here's what he had to say.
Honestly, I got like a ritual. Like when we lose, I ain't even getting a shower till early this morning. I just be mad. I just brush my teeth. But it's like I don't deserve soap. I don't deserve to do all that. I'm just focused on like trying to get back and trying to make sure that our players mentally understand and know that I let them down, that they didn't do it. You know, I just wake up all night, especially when you lose. You like wake up like, damn, it really happened. You know, it really happened that way. So it's just different pieces. And then I just move on. There's a process that I follow every week. Win, lose, or draw. Only thing is like my wife, I can't sleep in the bed if we lose because I ain't going to get in the shower for that day. I'm just mad and I just sit there. I just brush my teeth. That's what I have to do so y'all won't say my breath stink.
So apparently washing is only for winners. And when you lose, you don't deserve soap because soap is for winners. That feels aggressive, and I feel bad. I feel bad for his wife, honestly, because that's just disgusting.
Wash yo keister, my friend. Nobody needs a stinky loser.
No,
okay?
No.
You need to wash the stink off of you of defeat.
Right.
And that's how that
like
should
now,
go.
I've heard of that. I've heard of, dudes losing games and feeling like they got to get in the shower to wash the stink off of them, both literally and figuratively. But I've never heard of a guy who wants to wallow in his own game sweat because I didn't earn that shower today. I feel like that's one of those things that you don't deny yourself. Is hygiene. I mean, I am glad that he brushed his teeth, at least. But wash your damn feet. I mean, gross.
And
who do you think you are, Jason Kelsey?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
And don't do it in the I washed everything else and the soap ran down and got that. No, we actually need you to.
Need you scrubbing.
We got to scrub that.
They're playing Cal this week, by the way, so she might have another long weekend.
Did you find the siren?
Oh, no.
That's all right. Just use the purge siren.
Well, I mean, I got to find that, too.
All right. Well, I'll tell the beginning of the story. And you know what? And while you look that up, we're putting one job tag on the screen.
Stop it.
I said this before the show.
You didn't tell me when you needed it, though.
I said it was going to be my outside story.
You were going to remind me
I
at
think
some
you
point.
probably knew that was coming. My story is about the Portland Trailblazers. They have started 4-8. And they are not a whole lot of fun to watch. But we in this studio live by a great adage of watch or wager, but don't watch. Well, apparently a Twitter user named Michigan Made, he didn't adhere to that. And he learned a valuable lesson about the Troll Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
This is why one job tag is up.
It's not happening.
It was so well sculpted. I gave
there it is. Good Lord. One job.
And nobody can see that because fat baby one job tag is up on the screen. So you can middle finger me all you want to. Nobody can see it.
I wasn't trying to middle finger you.
I believe you. Michigan Made went to Twitter because there was an injury in the Blazers game. And he said, there goes everyone's parlay, shaking my head. Injuries are ruining the fun of sports betting, and rigging is at an all-time high.
Oh, my.
So what he's saying is sports are rigged because the injuries are rigged, and the teams are in on it, and he was accusing the Portland Trailblazers. Well, the Blazers, apparently fans of this here program, they went full Troll Patrol. Because they responded to him on Twitter. What would be the funniest thing they could possibly have sent him in this scenario? I was talking to you there, not myself.
Yes. They sent him.
What could they have sent him that would be funny as he was complaining about being rigged? A picture of a Sasquatch?
Maybe.
That would be humorous.
Maybe. That could be fun.
A lot of things about kooky Madookies.
Mm-hmm.
Instead,
tinfoil hats.
Instead, they went to the old Google box and they searched out 1-800-GAMBLER. That is the gambling problem line, and they took its credo and they sent it to him.
Yes.
From the Portland Trailblazers official Twitter. I am Richard Petty, okay? I am the OG 4-3 of pettiness. And I have to say, just good for you.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a funnier response from a team. And I've seen some good ones.
That is a pretty good one.
That's phenomenal.
I would have sent him the picture with Joaquin Phoenix sitting on the couch with the tinfoil hat on his head from the Signs movie. That would have been a good one, too. But the 1-800-GAMBLER slogan is priceless. Absolutely priceless. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9
You got a
FM.
lot of one jobs in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, just one job. That's all I have.
All
I got.
See,
one
that
job.
time they saw it. Fat one job baby tank wasn't up on the screen.
When we return from the break, we'll play the fun game of NFL head coach Matchmaker.
A lot of eligible bachelors and a lot of eligible teams. We'll match them up right after this.
Haywood Regional Medical Center is thrilled to welcome primary care physician Dr. Tony Lee to our staff this fall. Dr. Lee will practice family medicine at our new Haywood Family Practice Asheville location on Acton Circle, just off the Enka-Candler exit on I-40. Dr. Lee is a local doctor returning home, bringing his expertise in primary care, a passion for prevention, and a commitment to lasting relationships with patients. Call 800-424-DOCS for an appointment. That's 800-424-DOCS or visit haywoodmedicalgroup.com.
If you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmitt Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics specializes in biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue. I'm talking about natural pain treatments now available, not just for pro athletes, but to people like you.
At QC Kinetics, we're seeing patients every day who suffer from chronic joint pain but who desperately wanted to avoid surgery. We're treating joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions with long-lasting results.
Listen, it's all about getting your life back. Playing touch football with kids, walking upstairs pain-free, getting back on a job, and patients at QC Kinetics are raving about the results.
QC Kinetics. Call to learn more about restorative treatments that can get you back in the game.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
WWNC.com.
With live, local breaking news.
And the latest weather and traffic updates.
It's the website preferred by 9 out of 10 people who want to know what's going on.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Engles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Engles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off to showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning up near 50, so some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Storm Pro Solution.
Storm Pro Solution is here to help you during your recovery, serving Western North Carolina, Tennessee, and South Carolina. Storm Pro specializes in tree removal, roof replacement, water restoration, and storm damage. Call 828-318-7096 for your storm damage assessment.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
From the Engles studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Engles studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400.
If we ever find a way to get the commercial breaks into its own little standalone podcast, we're either going to be rich or in jail.
Canceled.
We're uncancelable. But, well, nobody's
I was going to
uncancelable.
say, they'll find a way.
We're pretty close. It'd be hard.
Name's on the door.
Name's on the door. Name's on the door, and that contract was written by none of us.
And that name, if you're wondering, is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We are heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeart Radio app. You can see us live on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat, and that way you can get your thoughts in on whatever we're talking about. You can also see our lovely faces here inside the Engles studio. It's time to play the fun little game of...
You can also see Fat One Job Baby Tank, which is getting closer.
It is getting closer.
Real easy for me to just go.
You might as well just put it up there because you made me go away from the page that I had up, and now I'm just.
So, I mean, we need another producer, but
we
I don't think
producer.
anybody would ever put up with all of the things that I asked for.
My one job goes 8 jobs in one, so I'm like, one job. Are we sure that's just one job? Because So anyway, it's just one of those things that it's time to play. It's time to play. That was such a great song. Anyway, it's time to play the fun game of NFL Matchmaker. What coaches are going to get fired? We already know that we have a couple of teams that are looking for head coaches. But, I mean, we're going to have so many more added to this list. I think we're up to 9 of the possibles.
I have 9, yes.
There would be, more if there was a wild card. Like, I don't know, the Indianapolis Colts decided they wanted to fire Steichen for whatever reason.
That path. Yeah. I went down the 9 jobs that make the most sense.
All right, so we're going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, you want it sure. Right out of the gate?
Oh, there's no song that embodies the Jacksonville Jaguars better than this one.
She said...
Tank's never heard this song.
No. Pretty redneck. All right.
Oh, that was a karaoke staple of mine. I bet I've sung that song at like 15 weddings. Let's go. I can slaughter that song. Actually, you know what? Saturday night at the social, 7 tequilas to the left, 4 fireballs to the right, and I will sing that song. Just house.
Queen of My Double Wide Trailer by Sammy Kershaw.
That was the theme song of my second marriage.
That's a new one for me.
Now, so here's the way we play this game. We introduce the contestant. In this case, it'd be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then we play the game show music.
Oh, game show music.
And we walk out the contestant, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The definition of the queen of my double-wide trailer, it's our short-wearing, mullet-loving Jacksonville Jaguars. I had to think about Jacksonville way more than I did any other team. Because I don't think you're getting your first choice. I mean, sure, you're going to call the Ben Johnsons. You're going to call none of them want to work for Shad Khan. Because you're looking at this franchise going, you've tried just about everything. So what I needed to find was a candidate looking for a second chance that lined up with this roster. And what I came to was Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure that's not my favorite pairing in this whole thing either. Brian Flores has been in this league a long, long time.
He has.
And he's been around a lot of teams. The defense that they have has a lot of players. They also have a lot of players that can do multiple things. So I look at how Minnesota plays defense, and I think what he does would translate well there. I also have to emphasize, you're not getting your first choice. You're the smallest market in the NFL. You're tied to a quarterback that not a lot of us believe in at this point. So you're going to have a little bit of a reclamation project. I could also see a path that Brian Flores comes with a pretty good list of offensive coordinator candidates. That I got the defense. I'll be the CEO of this team. I'll run the defense. I need you to run the offense. You try to reclaim whatever you got in Trevor Lawrence. And I build this team out that way. Look, I think Brian Flores is a good coach. I've never really thought he wasn't. My problem is that you're suing the league, and you don't really seem to be backing down. I also heard him with Adam Schefter yesterday that basically said, I'm getting a head coaching job in this league again, come hell or high water.
Yep.
And that makes, to me, the Jacksonville Jaguar fit is just perfect. I don't see a better option on the board because I think Ben Johnson would laugh you out of the room. You want me to tie myself to Trevor Lawrence and whatever you're doing in that front office. Yeah, sorry, I don't buy it.
It's not going to be my first job. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'd be exactly in the same spot as Ben was last year with the Carolina Panthers. Because the story was out there that he got offered. And he went, no, thank you.
And that's where I think Jacksonville comes in, is they're going to swing for the fences. And they're going to get told no. I'm looking at every coach that I put in a job, and I think every single one of these coaches, outside of maybe one, would laugh at you. Because that's a tough job. I also, as I'm looking at it, I also don't see a coach that I think gives you a better chance. Because this is a guy that's done this before. This is a second bite at the apple. He's already dealt with a questionable owner in Stephen Ross. And I do think he learned a lot from that first. I think he's learned a lot over the last handful of years. And now you get, I will say you get a prime stock for 60 cents on the dollar.
But would he be willing to go back to a poorly run organization? Right? I've already done that with Miami, and it led to me having to sue the league.
You're not going to have a choice.
Yeah, probably.
You're not going to have a choice. And and honestly, in the way that this is done, this is the next to the last job filled. Because Brian Flores interviews with all the others, talks to all the owners, and every one of these owners asks him the same question. Are you going to back off this lawsuit from the NFL? And when he says no, sorry, you're not on my list anymore. I hate to break it to you, the Mara family that basically helped build this league is not going to be okay with a guy that's suing the league. Woody Johnson, who was in the cabinet of Donald Trump, I apologize, he ain't going to be okay with a guy that's suing the NFL. I can keep doing that. Jerry Jones, same thing. you're going to run into a lot of opposition. Also, one of the jobs that's open is the former team that you coached. I would not wait by that phone because I don't think it's going to ring.
It's not coming.
This is the one that makes the most sense. With that explanation, does that match make sense to you, Nathaniel Tank Spencer?
It does. It does make sense to me. I just wonder how's that. Who's going to come with him?
Who's the offensive coordinator?
Who's coming with me? Who's going to be my offensive coordinator? Who is the guy that I'm going to sell the fan base is going to turn around Trevor Lawrence? Because Urban Meyer, we forget and we won't say his name in
That
public.
is the name that shall not be.
But then you brought in Dougie P, and that didn't go well. I think it was Gambit fan that said in the YouTube comments just a few moments ago, like, I'm shocked, truly shocked that Dougie P wore out his welcome this quickly.
You know the name that, and this is a name that was on his staff in Miami, and it came to me immediately. Jim Caldwell.
Mm-hmm.
Former coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
He's with the Panthers now.
Yep.
I would not be shocked if he looked at him. Maybe not even as he brings in Jim Caldwell.
Is Caldwell still with the Panthers?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I knew he was part of that Reich organization.
He's still there.
But I didn't know if he's still hanging around.
Still a senior assistant.
Okay.
And I think that would be a formidable hire for Trevor Lawrence. I've seen him do good things with quarterbacks in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not the sexiest hire, but it makes sense, and he has a tie to Brian Flores.
Wasn't he there with? Wasn't he in Indianapolis with Andrew Luck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what? Make all the sense in the world to bring him in to face this generation's biggest bust.
It's a match made in heaven.
All right, and then after that, we've got another contestant.
Hotter than a $5 pistol. She looks beautiful, but she's not as deep as the kiddie pool. If you want a little arm candy and pray for no injuries, the Miami Dolphins.
You got to pray for a lot on that one.
I feel like Miami fires Mike McDaniel with one coach in mind. And I think they've already laid the groundwork for this.
Ben Johnson.
I don't think you fire Mike McDaniel without knowing there is Miami at this point has a pretty girl on its arm, but there are some issues.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you're getting out of this marriage is if you're marrying up, and Ben Johnson's the only one on the board that's marrying up. I also look at all 8 other jobs on the board. I can quickly shut down why he would not go there.
Because they don't have a quarterback?
It's not even that they don't have a quarterback. Is he going to Jacksonville?
No.
The Jets with that ownership group? Sorry. I love you. I love everything about you. That's going to be a new phone who dis.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans Saints? I can't see it. I don't. Cleveland Browns? Tie yourself to Deshaun Watson or whatever that fiasco is?
Nope.
Las Vegas Raiders? That's not his scene. Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones? Back in the New York market with the Giants or the Chicago Bears? The Bears were the only other one I considered. And even then, I don't think that offense is built the way that he wants to build an offense.
I still think the Giants make a lot of sense.
I don't.
If they're going to be at the top of the draft picking a quarterback.
But the draft is terrible at quarterback. This is a terrible draft at quarterback.
Yeah, but if they're picking high, or 1 or 2, you're getting one of the two.
Okay, so now you're telling me that I'm going to go to a New York market which doesn't fit his personality at all. Ben's a quiet guy. There's a reason he has loved Detroit so much.
Well, quiet guys can work in New York, or at least with the Giants.
Name it.
Tom Coughlin.
Tom Coughlin's not a quiet guy.
He was not a quiet guy.
He was not a quiet guy. He was abrasive as hell, and the media absolutely hated him. The only reason that's looked on fondly is because he won 2 Super Bowls. Outside of that, there was no positive there.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a quiet guy. All right, most successful coach in Giants history. Who was it?
Tom Coughlin.
Are you out of your mind? Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells, the most popular coach the Giants have ever had, most successful, won a Super Bowl. That's the golden era of being a New York Giant.
Okay.
It was late 80s, early 90s. Then he went to New England, then he went to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Most successful coach in Jets history. Who was it?
Bill Parcells.
I was about to say it's the same answer.
Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
A big, brash personality. That's what works in New York. Because the Jets, I could argue Rex Ryan is too. Tom Coughlin's too in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all big personalities. That's no Ben is. Ben's not a brash guy at all.
Okay.
And he's been to Miami.
He has. He was the quarterback's coach down there for a while. He was on that Miami staff. Who was the head coach back then? Was that like that wasn't like Dave Wannstedt era? That was more recent than that.
He was there before McDaniel.
Where's Brian? Brian! Was he there with Flores?
I don't think it was Flores.
I can't remember. If I could remember correctly, the only reason I need to ask Brian is because of obviously, being here in Asheville. Ben Johnson's from Asheville, and Ben used to send all of his extra shirts from the sidelines to Brian Hull.
It was Brian Flores.
Was it Brian Flores? Yeah. Okay. And Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback, right?
Yes.
So, he's got familiarity, and that's another thing. Did he have a good time in Miami? Was he okay, or would he be okay being the point man for Stephen Ross? And that's a big question.
Look, I think he's been there from everything I've ever heard. He enjoyed his time in Miami. It was just he was quarterback's coach, so he wasn't really in line to get the big boy job. Mm-hmm. So he went to Detroit.
All right, and that brings us to a break before we get to our third team and playing head coach Matchmaker here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Your ideal vacation? The beach? The mountains? The big city? We've got a better idea. An inflation vacation. Your chance to beat high prices with $1,000.
A $1,000 inflation vacation from ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a rewarding career with stability and purpose? The NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, competitive pay, and benefits. Visit dac.nc.gov/CO jobs.
Did you wake up with joint pain? Does it hurt when you do even the most routine physical activity? Have they told you it's time for knee or hip replacement surgery? Stop what you're doing and listen. You deserve a life of comfort and ease with no surgery and no meds. And QC Kinetics can get you there. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. This is an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Everybody's talking about this now. It's so cutting edge. The protocols developed by QC Kinetics are life-changing for so many people. Tens of thousands of satisfied patients with more every day. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, without downtime. Discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. The consultation is absolutely free. Phone 828-333-9517. Phone 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics in Asheville and Greenville.
If you're a business owner, the holidays are important. But do you know the last thing 75% of your customers hear before holiday shopping? Radio. And since iHeartMedia is the #1 radio company in America, chances are they're listening to us. iHeart reaches 3 times more people than the biggest TV networks and 4 times more than the music streamers where you can advertise. This holiday season, get the results you need. Call 844-844-iHeart. Don't wait. Holiday shopping has already started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Engles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Engles, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win!
The Heels square off against Wake Forest on Saturday, November 16th. Pre-game coverage starts at 6. Kickoff at 7 on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. The Engles Living the Dream Tour continues this Saturday. It is staycation day. We're staying in town. We'll be throwing the tailgate up. The Parks Ford of Hendersonville mobile studio will be on scene at the Social in East Asheville this weekend. We're going to be hanging out all day long at the bar, which can lead to some fun stuff.
Yes.
We're going to be hanging out all day. So at some point on Saturday, you're out running errands. You're trying to get your, your holiday season started or whatever. You're out just, out just running around. Come by, stop by and see us. Throw some money in the bucket for one of the one of the bartenders or something. Have a beverage. Have some food with us. We just want to be out there to celebrate and support our good friends at the Valley Strong. Thank you, Valley Strong Relief Organization will be out there in support of Corey and Kristen and all the gang out there. So the Social in East Asheville this weekend, we will be out there all day long, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. 11 o'clock in the morning, going all the way.
We'll be doing a stream from 11 to 12, previewing the day. It'll be uncensored, as many of you have asked that we do uncensored things.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will do another one before the 3:30 kickoffs. We will do another one for the night slate about 7 o'clock. And other than that, we'll just be hanging out.
Yep.
It'll just be a fun day. Those guys have been absolutely ravaged by the storm. They would never, ever say that. They didn't tell me to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there a handful of times. They're right in the heart of where this storm happened. And I should tell you, you have to come in from the tunnel, the closest to the interstate tunnel side, because that portion of the side of Tunnel Road closest to I don't know what that would be considered. That, like the Swananoa exit side, is closed. So Tunnel Road is closed on that side. You have to come in from the interstate side.
Okay. Gotcha. So the Social, East Asheville this weekend, the Engles Living the Dream Tour, brought to you by, of course, Engles Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WNC.com. We will be out at the Social. Come by and see us on Saturday. And, of course, the culmination of the night will be the big showdown in the SEC between Tennessee and Georgia. And we'll see if, Drunk Tank is going to happily and ironically sing Rocky Top with the rest of the group. There will be a group sing-along during the karaoke portion of the night. So see if I have to cry my way through Rocky Top after Nico Imaliava or whatever the hell his name is.
Imaliava.
Yeah, I struggle with that one still.
I still want to call him I Am Aliva.
I Am Aliva. I like that one the best. Anyway, it is time to pick up our fun little game here, as we're playing Matchmaker. In the NFL, what coaches are going to lose their jobs and who needs to take that job? Our next contestant is...
You can't see her, but she's a smoke show. Only problem, she will put cigarettes out on your couch and let you down anytime you allow her to. But, man, the fun's fun. The New York Football Jets!
The Jets have already cut ties with Rob Saleh. There is no way that Jeff Ulbricht's going to keep this job.
No, we thought that was a possibility, and I'm out. No. I love you, Ulbs, but that's going to be a no from me. No. The Jets were hard for me to figure out not just who would take the job, but who would be a fit. I thought about a lot of names, and I kept coming back to one. To me, this has to be an offensive coach. This has to be an offensive coach that has a lot of ability to hire somebody that can keep the defense together. The good thing is you've got a lot of people that can run that Robert Saleh defense. Could even be Jeff Ulbricht, because I don't think Robert Saleh is getting another job. I am going Joe Brady.
Former Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator.
I love the way that offense is running with James Cook out of the backfield, with even Ray Davis. You would have a significant upgrade in receivers with Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams if he sticks around. I don't know what you're going to do at quarterback. I cannot imagine Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback of this team for a third year. But if he is, you've got to take the power out of his – you got to take the control away from him. This has got to be – you're contouring to me. I think that's where the divide happens. You get a retired Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
The question is, then who becomes the quarterback? And you're going to tell me I'm out of my mind when I say this. I'm not sure the quarterback of the New York Jets next year is not Jordan Travis. Former Florida State quarterback.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was a sixth-round pick last year. They love him. They don't just love him. They're in love with him. And I won't be shocked if Tyrod Taylor comes back as the backup and Jordan Travis penciled in as the starter. You just got to understand, you've got a roster that's about to become very, very expensive. I don't think there is an option on the board that makes a ton of sense. There's just not really I don't have the money to go get another quarterback. I don't have the draft capital to go get another quarterback. There's not a rookie out there. So you're either going to be trying to play the rehab quarterback game or you're going to build from within.
What about Todd Monken?
With the Jets?
With the Jets.
I'll pass.
Why?
It's a heavy – that's a heavy dose of run. I don't think you're – yes, you – and I know why you're saying that because you have Breece Hall and you have Braylon Allen.
Precisely.
I don't think Todd Monken's a head coach.
I could see that.
I think he's a decent enough play caller, but I don't see him surviving in New York. You're going to have to do something flashy, and Todd Monken, to me, feels way too much like Adam Gase. You're an offensive guy. You're an offensive guy that had Peyton Manning. What are you going to do with Tyrod Taylor or Jordan Travis or whoever the next quarterback is? I think it has to be somebody flashy, and it has to be somebody flashy that has worked at different levels. Joe Brady's one of the best offensive coordinators I've ever seen in the college ranks. He's completely rehabbed his image in Buffalo, and this is a division that loves doing this. They love to see a guy that has absolutely just battered them in divisional games, and Joe Brady has. That offense has been so difficult for the Jets to deal with. Even though they've done a pretty good job yardage-wise, they can't beat it. And if you can't beat it, have it join you. The Jets were probably the hardest team on the board for me to find a match that made sense.
Another name that came to my mind.
Mike Vrabel.
I
think that will be their first call, but I don't think that's the job he takes.
I was thinking Greg Roman.
Because
he might get another shot at a head coaching job.
I would burn everything green I own.
If it was Greg Roman.
I will burn everything green I own.
I mean, I'm trying to think of when the last time the Jets hired somebody where I went, yeah, that was awesome. And I feel like Joe Brady falls into that category of, I would probably feel that way about him. So it's probably going to be.
Jet fans wouldn't, though. Jet fans don't want to. We don't want to retread. We don't want. It's got to be somebody with some spice. You got to understand, they've hired over the last. In the time I've been a Jet fan, we've gone from Rob Saleh, and I'm going backwards. Robert Saleh, Adam Gase, Todd Bowles, Rex Ryan, Herman Edwards, Al Groh was in there somewhere, Bill Parcells, Rich Kotite. There's one offensive name in that entire set, and it was Adam freaking Gase. If they hire a defensive guy or one of these gross, been in the league for a long time, no pop to him whatsoever, you're dead before this ever started.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, offensively, I considered Bobby Slowick, but I think that is a really tough ask for a guy that's only been a coordinator for 2 years.
Okay.
Joe Brady feels more like a head coach to me and more like he can deal with that New York market. There's also a possibility that it's going to start slow and they're going to start calling him Opie Taylor about 5 weeks into his reign.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't say it didn't come without some potential speed bumps.
Everything that has anything to do with the Jets has some speed bumps in it, and that's why I think this would be a great hire, which is why it won't happen, which is why you'll end up getting somebody like Greg Roman.
Well, you also have to remember that this will probably be Woody Johnson's farewell to the Jets because he is not going to do something that is negative off the jump. Mm-hmm. And Joe Brady would not be negative off the jump.
NFL head coach Matchmaker here in the Sportsocracy. Let's do one more before the break.
It's the age of the Gold Bachelorette, and the old adage goes, the older the berry, the sweeter the juice, and no one embodies that more than the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Man, that's an old roster. For me, it's you harken back to a guy that you know. It's Aaron Glenn. Once I said it, I can't really unsee it.
Mm-hmm.
That Aaron Glenn brings a cool with him that's just different than Dennis Allen. Offensively, you have a lot of toys. What makes Aaron Glenn a little bit difficult for me is how he's going to fill his staff. Because all of the offensive guys in Detroit, they're probably going with Ben Johnson to wherever he goes. So he strikes me as more I hate to say arranged marriage, but you get the offensive coordinator maybe that he's never worked with before that is going to do the way that I want to build a team in reverse. I want to have an offensive guy that handles the offense and is the CEO of the program. And then you have a defensive guy that the defense is yours. I could easily see him doing that in reverse, where they have and I mean, there are a lot of names that come to my mind. And that's how you build out the Saints. Because, I think that's going to be an attractive job. New Orleans is a cool city to live in. They've been pretty good for the better part of 20 years. And it's a lot more attractive than some of these other jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Aaron Glenn right now is about as hot as any candidate on the market. And he knows your ownership. They know him. This is the devil you know. Dennis Allen burned you sideways. And I don't know if he had naked pictures of somebody in that front office or if they were doing something horrible to a horse. I don't know. I don't know how he got this long because it doesn't make any sense. He was terrible. But I don't think you were that far off. I at no point looked at the Saints and went, this is what are they, 2-8, 3-7, whatever they are?
Right.
I've never thought this is a 3-7 roster. You have been directed to that because your coaching staff was awful. Aaron Glenn brings a modicum of stability that I really like in New Orleans because I don't think you're that far off.
Question is, who is he going to be able to bring along with him to run the offense? Because we've gone down this path before, right? We just went down this path of hiring the defensive guy. Granted, it didn't go well. But Aaron Glenn does make a lot of sense. But who's going to control the offense? Who's going to control those pieces? Is an important part of this calculation.
I am totally opining here. But a name that makes a lot of sense because he's really hot in coaching circles is Antoine Randall. He's on the Lions staff. And I'm not sure that Ben would relinquish enough control of the offense to take the best coach off that staff as his offensive coordinator, and that would be interesting to me. You're talking about a super young staff, but you also would have a super young staff of all guys that have played in the NFL. And you get an older locker room like that, they really respect guys that have played in this league. I don't think that's as big of a deal as a lot of other people do because I look at the 5 best coaches that I've seen the last 20 years. 0 of them played in the NFL.
Right.
Just throwing that out there. But getting a vet locker room like that, I think they would respond to that.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll continue playing the Matchmaker dating game when we return in 2 and 2. No, it's not 2 and 2 because it's not 4 minutes.
No, it's like 2 and 1.5.
Exactly. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off the showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning up near 50, so some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
FEMA is hiring people in Durham, Hickory, and Asheville to support North Carolina's tropical storm Helene recovery efforts. Many different positions are available for a wide range of skill sets. See all open positions and to apply, visit usajobs.gov and type keywords FEMA and local hire. Then enter your location as North Carolina.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea and water damage as far as the eye can see.
It's America.
It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of homeownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Life is complicated. Your health insurance shouldn't be. That's why CareSource offers specialized marketplace health plans built specifically for your health challenges. Now our benefits are better than ever before. We even have plans for our members with chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. You'll get your own care manager too. Affordable health coverage, strong network, one-on-one support. CareSource Marketplace Health Plans. We got you. Learn more at caresource.com/marketplace. CareSource North Carolina Company.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Engles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Engles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. This might be a little outside the box for my usual weird stories, but as soon as I saw
does that mean it's vulgar, like something I would usually tell?
It's pretty vulgar. I'm going to tell you the story of Aunt Lauren.
Oh, boy.
Aunt Lauren.
Aunt Lauren, she already sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Her name
like
is
Aunt Myra? 4 of you got that reference, but the ones that did, you really did. She doesn't pay a lot.
Her name is Lauren Spencer, and she is from the UK. And there's a write-up here about a rare sleep condition that Aunt Laura has.
She got like the apnea? Or the angina?
No.
Any of the ears?
Nah, I mean, there might be an EA on here somewhere. I don't know that there's actually a name for it. They didn't explain that, whether there was a name for this type of sleep disorder. But it kind of falls into that same category of, people who sleepwalk and, people who get up in the middle of the night and make dinner. Like, I've heard stories about people that do stuff like that. People that have to put special locks on their doors so they don't go walking around the neighborhood at night.
People that piddle in the vegetable crisper drawer or put the couch cushions and purse in the oven.
Precisely. It's like a sleepwalking thing, only she likes to sleep and lay down.
Is my purse in the refrigerator? Or the couch cushions in the oven?
Brennan. It's always Brennan. Well, Lauren, she's got a special case where so she sleeps at night. And she likes to do adult things in her sleep.
Oh, boy.
She's 50 years old, and her husband...
50 years old!
Her husband, Charlie, 52 years old,
says that
while Lauren is asleep, she likes to snuggle up next to him and start some stuff. And... it's a problem because it doesn't apparently have to be him.
Oh.
Yeah, that she gets randy with in her sleep.
This is a very convenient disorder. Just throwing that out there.
Says, in fact, Lauren, when she, if the occasion calls for it, she has to, go out of town or stay at a friend's house or something. She says she has to put cable locks on the door on the inside so she can't get out to do the do with someone else.
I've known a couple girls like that, and they didn't have to be asleep.
And she swears to God when she wakes up, she has no recollection of anything that has just happened.
Isn't that convenient? Listen, Aunt Laura, why did I catch you with the neighbor? Can't sleep. Can't get mad. I was not.
She says, I live alone with my husband, and he doesn't complain. Like, who would?
If he did, every guy in America would go, I have too much money.
My first thought was, how do I give my wife this complex? Can we figure out how to make this happen?
No kidding.
My daughters are 25 and 30 years old, and so neither live with her and her husband anymore. She says she has no recollection or awareness after an episode, so it can be confusing. The lack of control is embarrassing, but fortunately, it's not something that happens that often. She says she does deal with the sleepwalking thing, with sleep talking, and sometimes she falls right out of bed, but she does have this problem. And another thought that I had after I went, I wonder if this is contagious, and can we get her to a family reunion? The second thought, what?
Why did it have to be a family reunion?
Well, her last name is Spencer. So let's see, are we related to Lauren, and can we?
Okay, so all right, so if that went your way, you were related, and that's how you wanted that to go. Which one of us is West Virginia, and which one of us is not?
You're not following the path here.
No, I am.
Yeah, you're just making it weird.
I'm not judging you. Look, there's no judgment coming.
Says she also sometimes gets out of bed to clean. Sometimes she sends text messages in the middle of the night and has no recollection of any of it that happened. So she generally doesn't tell people about the condition because I wouldn't want them to think I was crazy, and it's something that most people haven't ever heard of. So I did the logical thing, and I did a story for the freaking newspaper.
Conversely, her husband tells everyone of her disorder and follows it usually with, I am the luckiest individual on the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. My story comes from Chili's baby back ribs in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, that's right down the road.
It's like 3.5 hours away, but it's in the same state.
Oh, that's right. It's out toward the East Coast.
Yeah.
On the way to Wilmington.
I've told you, actually this calendar week, I've told you a story about going to the chain restaurant and the people that you will meet there.
Yes.
And I have another story that is the perfect embodiment of what I am talking about. This woman, apparently, her name is Kristen Scheel. She went to the Chili's. What time do you believe that she went?
2:30 in the afternoon.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. She went to Chili's at 2:30 in the afternoon. She was one of those people I was referring to. Mm-hmm. She had an unknown passenger in her car. It was a ball python named Una. That is her ball python, and apparently it got out of her car at the Chili's. I have so many questions. Number one, how did you not know there was a python in your car? 2, why do you have a python? C, I don't even know if I'm using the right numbers or letters anymore. The next one, are you out of your mind? D, what are you doing for dinner?
Any girl with a snake will put cigarettes out on your couch.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, Brian Haynes had a whole lot of rules. Never date a girl with a snake. Never trust a girl that's got a tattoo of a dagger. Never play cards with a guy whose last name is a city. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them. If you meet a girl on a first date and she says, this is my pet snake, his name is Gerbil, you should know that girl is going to be both a lot of fun and your worst nightmare. Mm-hmm. Ask me how I know. Mm-hmm. Before I met my lovely wife, I had some less than awesome pickings. 3 of those had snakes. A lot of fun. Till it wasn't. And when it wasn't, it super wasn't.
Snake immediately puts you at a 10 on the crazy scale. So
yeah, but you know what's funny? Usually they're at about a 9 on the hot scale. And you're in, I mean, and I get it. You're on the wrong side of the Vicky Mendoza line. But you talk about just the best weekend of your life. And then a restraining order that will last for no less than 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Sounds like a solid theory. I've never known a girl who had a snake.
The last girl I dated that had a snake once texted me that she was going to cut off my hands and feet and send them to my parents in a FedEx box. That happened. That's an honest-to-God true story. You can read about it in my upcoming autobiography to be released the day after my demise.
And the name of that book is?
I can't say it on the radio.
Oh.
Oh, wait. Maybe I can. Nah, I probably
It's not Heck Yeah, 2 Raccoons?
Oh, no. I'll put it in the YouTube chat. It sets up perfectly for 3 sequels that are all already written.
Mm-hmm. All right, back to the Matchmaker game then.
Yeah, you're gonna have to vamp for a minute because I got to put the name of it in the YouTube chat.
In the NFL, we have projected that there are going to be 9 openings, at least. Are we saying at least 9 openings in the coaching ranks in the NFL?
I have 9. I have no Cincinnati Bengals because I think they're going to come back and make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I know Gambit fan was asking. I think it was Gambit that was asking for that. Please tell me. Or no, it was Evan Doyle. Was say, please tell me that the Bengals are a contestant today. Nope. They are not. They are not a contestant because it's hard to believe that the Bengals are going to get left out of the playoffs. And when you do get into the playoffs, you're probably going to win a game. And that's not you can't fire Zach Taylor after that. Lou Anarumo, on the other hand, that's probably the change that's going to happen for the Cincinnati Bengals if I had to wager, but we shall see. So the next contestant on NFL Matchmaker,
a wealth of toys, but not much to show for it. This team just looking for someone to lead them out of the darkness that they've been in for a long, long time. It's the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Deshaun Watson and company. That is the biggest impediment to getting a coach, is the fact that you have Deshaun Watson, and what in the heck are we going to do with that? I've been saying for the last few weeks, I don't think there's any path here other than you just go spent cost.
And look, you might.
I'm just going to bench him.
Look,
just going to tell him to stay home. If we need you, we'll call you.
And if that is the case, there is nobody that has done more with less at a quarterback position than one Nathaniel. I use Nathaniel a lot.
You do.
Vrabel the second. Mike Vrabel. He's been a consultant on this team. He's, to me, a far better coach than Kevin Stefanski.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe he gets Arthur Smith, they bring the whole band back together. We just have Tennessee Titans 2.0. Woo, let the good times roll.
I don't see that happening.
I do. I actually do. I could easily see a path that Mike Vrabel, Cleveland goes out into the market trying to find a guy, and they keep coming back to the guy that's already in the room.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the problem I have, is that he's in the room, whether he's
just a consultant.
Right, but whether he's a consultant or not, do you not get some of that poo on you? Like,
How much role do you think he has here?
Not roll over on you?
How much role do you think he has here?
I have no idea.
There's not one play that's been called all year that falls on Mike Vrabel. I genuinely think they kind of fell in love with him. And look, this is one of those inside baseball things of, I was there when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it with my own two eyes, and I came this close. Never mind. No good can come from me telling that story. It's be in my book. Put the title in the YouTube chat. Formidable, to say the least. I think they fell in love with Mike Vrabel a year ago, but they couldn't let Kevin Stefanski go. And now they're going to interview 10 guys and keep coming back to, why don't we just hire him? He's the leader in the clubhouse. He's the guy. He is a guy. I think Mike Vrabel's a really good coach if you want to win a specific way, which is play really good defense and run the damn ball. How else is Cleveland going to win?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they're going to pull out of thin air at quarterback? You're paying $55 million to a guy who is worthless. Mike Vrabel's the ultimate decision. And I don't care that he's been in that room. I've seen this happen before.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like being married and the marriage is not going well, and then you hire a new assistant and you're like, all of my problems could be solved if she would just die. And that's how you end up on court TV. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. I lived a rough life before I met my wife.
Look, I told you when he got fired from the Tennessee Titans, I was mildly shocked. I will say more than mildly shocked that he got fired. I understood why they did it, but he is a guy that absolutely needs to be a coach in this league.
Vrabel?
Yeah, to me he was to me he was Dan Campbell before Dan Campbell was cool.
Stephen Tao said Kevin Stefanski doesn't deserve to be fired. Now let me ask: Are you saying that as a Baltimore Raven fan, which I would totally understand, or are you being serious, which I don't understand the least? Kevin Stefanski is a huge part of this problem, to the point of I'm not actually sure that any quarterback can be good with Kevin Stefanski. I'm not sure he doesn't ask so much of a quarterback that he's antiquated. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong.
Or does he just need somebody with a brain?
Well, I mean, you had Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson, and neither one of those went at all swimmingly.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's kind of my point.
Well,
you had Baker,
okay.
You had Baker and Deshaun. You had Deshaun, who was a shell of the guy that you thought you were getting from Houston. So you haven't really been set up for success per se in that quarterback category.
All right, so I'll we're playing matchmaker here, so I'll take this into the dating world. If you meet a girl and she tells you, well, I was married to a guy and he was homeless, but on both sides of the marriage, he was a CEO for a Fortune 500 company. And then I did that again with another one that was really successful, and then he met me and he started smoking black tar heroin. I'm going to say you might be part of the problem. I'm not going to say you're all of the problem. I'm just saying you might be part of it, because that's a weird two things to have on your resume. Things were hunky-dunky until I came along and went elsewhere. Fine. Another one was great until he came here, and now I, honest to God, don't know if he knows the rules of football. Now, if you do it a third time, I believe we can call that a trend.
Sure.
But I'm good at two.
I am as well.
I'm good at two.
We've been through this for, what's his 6th year? 7th year?
He's one of the longest tenured coaches in the league.
Regardless of who your quarterbacks have been or what is around you, you do. I mean, you deserve blame in this.
Oh, no doubt.
And
Kevin
Stefanski,
is
absolutely
getting fired. The question is, who are they going to hire? And I ask you, do you have a name that you think fits what they do better than the name I gave you? Because that's where I got to.
No, not really. Mike Vrabel would probably be the best they can do.
That's where I'm at. And he's already comfortable there, and they already know him.
Mm-hmm.
When something makes too much sense, it rarely happens, but I will stick with it because I think that's the best coach to win games for the Cleveland Browns.
If they would like to, we can send them Liam Cohen and Baker Mayfield.
Or you can have Todd Bowles. Yeah, Robert Saleh. Hey, he tried to do that, but it wasn't great. As we go into the top of the hour, we have a super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from our buddy Red C, who said in the past month we've gotten new tank, hurricane tank, polyester tank, AI cowboy hat, baby tank, and one job baby tank. Pure gold. And here's the thing. I know how to use AI now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so many more tanks.
You just call me the Mick Foley of radio.
For sure. I had one yesterday of him petting a goat that Sheskis. Doesn't make any sense. I did learn AI won't let you do certain things. There are certain words that it goes, no. So I had to settle
The only thing I didn't like about that is that made me look like fat baby Harry Potter, and that was...
No, it made you look like fat baby bestiality, but that's at least that's how I saw it. Maybe my brain's broken.
Your brain is definitely broken.
And now my camera is because I held my stupid hand up.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Third hour of the program's all the way.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Bunny Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Bunny Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Bunny Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox, clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
With 2 convenient locations, Singleton's Automotive will keep your vehicle on the road. Singleton's offers routine maintenance, BG services, tires, inspections, alignments, and more in their family-owned shops. Singleton's Automotive is hiring technicians for both locations. Receive competitive pay and benefits depending on experience. Visit singletonsautomotive.com. That's singletonsautomotive.com. Car care with character.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Engles, we're with you
every step of the way.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off to showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning, up near 50. So some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by GeneratorFranchise.com. Millions protect their homes from power outages with Generac home standby generators. Would you like to be part of this lucrative industry? Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has limited franchise opportunities in your area. Learn more at GeneratorFranchise.com.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Saturday, November 30th, the Orange Peel presents Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. Get your tickets now online at theorangepeel.net. Don't miss Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, live November 30th. See you at the Peel.
From the Engles studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Engles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel.
You're currently not seen on YouTube. Currently, it's Baby Tank and a goat.
I see Baby Goat Tank.
I love AI.
I thought he had black hair. See, it was the round glasses that threw me off yesterday. I thought he had black hair.
No,
I was like,
that's always.
That's fat baby Harry Potter.
It's
right
always scant hair, but it has to be blonde, fat baby doing blank.
Jeremy loves his AI generator that he's found now.
I do. It's so good. Adobe, I want it. You give it to me. Sometimes I don't even know I want it. Sometimes I don't even know I want it. And you just go, here's a new thing.
It's like being married to Aunt Lauren. You didn't know you wanted it, but you got it.
I didn't know that was something I was after, but apparently she snored the whole time. And now that's a thing. Now my internet search history would make your head hurt.
It is the Sportsocracy, your daily dose of dumbassery. And third hour of the program always starts with the Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's pale ale.
Shout out to Asheville Fire Department workers, by the way. I found out this morning that apparently they've been listening to us as well on shift, and any firefighters, cops, mailmen, anything that's in the civil service, we love you all.
Yes.
And we will always say, be nice to any of them that you encounter today, because they've dealt with a lot of crap. And some of it with people that they want to just boop right on the nose. And they can't.
That's right. Always thank them for their service, too, when
For
you
sure.
see them out and about.
Buy them a beer. Buy them a lot of beers. Buy them a burger. Whatever.
Just not when they're on duty. You can buy them burgers when they're on duty. Don't buy them beers when they're on duty.
Okay.
Mr. No Fun.
Yeah. And that Tank, is why you get AI pictures of you petting a goat.
What, because I try to be responsible?
And I got about 17 more that get increasingly harder to understand.
Wonderful. Today's daily draft is going to be coaching candidates.
I tried to make one of you milking a cow, and it just said, no, you cannot have that, because I don't know why you would want that. And now I'm on an internet watch list, and I can't fly anymore.
Coaching candidates. If you had a franchise and you had to make the choice, who would your choice be in this hiring cycle? Jeremy says we have to take Ben Johnson out of it.
That's like saying, we're going to draft the greatest basketball player of all time. The first pick, Michael Jordan. Second pick, Michael Jordan with the Wizards. Third pick, baseball Michael Jordan.
You got another one?
No, because the next would be Space Jam Michael Jordan, and that was playing with cartoons.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the only one allowed to play with cartoons on this show is me.
Thanks, AI, for that.
Tank loves it. He wouldn't tell you that, but he does.
So good. So good. All right. So, first pick in the draft?
I'll give it to you.
Oh, you're giving it to me. Okay, well, that's it. So, Ben Johnson's gone. I'm taking Aaron Glenn.
Interesting. So he would be your number 2 pick.
He would, because it gets to a point for me where at some point it's your turn. And I believe we've been waiting for Aaron Glenn to get his turn for 7 years.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. And there have been, I guess, ups and downs, or not really ups and downs. Just, I mean, he was a really hot candidate 6 years ago. And for about 2 years, he was the number one guy. And then he kind of faded out. And we got on the hot track of all the offensive guys. And at some point, Aaron Glenn and his defensive prowess has gotten left behind. And now it's a foregone conclusion that, to me, the list goes Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and then you can take your pick from the rest of them.
I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of good candidates that just fit a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one job that you fit really well in. All right, you took.
You're 4. I get it.
No, I love Aaron Glenn. He was a great Jet, and I hated the day he left, and I've loved him ever since. But you left me 2 former coaches, and I feel like I have to take them both.
Okay. All right.
Bill Belichick's my 1.
Okay.
Look, at the end of the day, I get it. It didn't end well in New England. I don't want you anywhere near my draft room. I don't want your dog near my draft room. We'll give you a seat, and you get to sit down and shut up, because I do not care about the guard from Toledo that we all have a 6th round grade on that you want to take in the 1st round.
But with Bill Belichick, that's not an option.
Oh, no, it is. Oh, no, it is. Oh, no, it is. He got humbled last year because there was one team that wanted him. That was it. And even they hired Raheem Morris over him. And I think he got humbled of, oh, God, maybe I was that bad of a talent evaluator.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's ever doubted how good he is X's and O's. I don't doubt that he can win. He is going to one of these teams after the daily draft as their best choice to coach the team. There's only one team in the NFL I feel that way about, because there's only one that I think he buys into the ownership. There's only one that I think he buys into what they would put in the front office to allow him to be successful. But if I'm hiring a coach, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a guy with 6 Super Bowl rings over the coordinator for Team X that I have no idea what he's going to be. The last time we did this, my first pick was Nathaniel Hackett. I learned my lesson, both watching him with the Denver Broncos and watching him as an offensive coordinator for my New York Jets. My second selection is Mike Vrabel. If I think I have a roster that can be competitive in the NFL right now, do I have to do it a certain way? Absolutely. Is he a little old school? No doubt. But I know all that going in. I know he's going to want to run the ball. I know it's not going to be up and down the field offensively. But I also know he knows how to put a defense together. I also know he knows how to lead men. I know he got more out of a Titans roster than probably anybody else could have. And I just look around and go, there's a lot of guessing, and I'm not averse to guessing. But these two, I don't have to guess. I know what you are. And you've been wildly successful in this league, one of you, and pretty successful with the other.
All right, Mike Vrabel.
That is not how I intended to start this draft, but the more I looked at this list, I had to.
Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick. Okay. Well, I guess that leaves me to go offensive coordinator here.
Oh,
I'll take Joe Brady.
I was afraid you would.
I don't know about the whole Jets thing. That's where you projected that he could go to be the new head coach. But maybe it's time. I mean, with the Buffalo Bills, they've been a surprise to me because I didn't think that they would be this good. I didn't think they would just be so balanced. I think that's the thing I'm most surprised about, is that the way that they're running the ball and the way that, I always expected Josh Allen was going to be phenomenal because he's one of the top 2-3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
He's been the OC of the Bills for 2 years. Where have they finished and I say finished, where did they finish last year? Where are they actively right now in points?
In points? Mm-hmm. I would say they were probably top 6 last year?
4th last year, second this year.
Second this year.
Where have they been in yards?
Second and first.
4th last year, 14th this year.
Oh, 14th this year.
Yeah. And they're, as you said, they're awfully balanced.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the bottom. They're in the bottom 25% of passing attempts this year with Josh Allen, and they're 8-2.
And I think pretty much any team would probably look at that and go, you know what? Joe Brady is a guy that has, as you said, rehabbed himself after the fiasco with Carolina, being on Matt Rule's staff and then being eschewed, 6 games into the season or something?
My question would be, do you think any offensive coordinator could have succeeded in that?
No.
Because I don't.
No.
So if you take that away, this is a coordinator with a really high-end pedigree.
Mm-hmm. And then after Joe Brady,
I'm intrigued to see where you go here.
I'm going with Kellen Moore.
Wow.
He wasn't even on your list, was he?
No, he was not.
But why? Kellen Moore has been pretty good offensive coordinator in this league. He had a lot of the hopes and the dreams with the Dallas Cowboys, and Mike McCarthy never got fired. And because I always thought that was how that was going to go. They're going to get sick of Mike McCarthy. They're going to elevate Kellen Moore. Well, Kellen Moore comes in, last year he was with the Chargers. And that didn't go well. But now I feel like with Philadelphia, he's rehabbed himself.
He has helped himself. I can't tell you that he's rehabbed himself. And it's a guy that's been an offensive coordinator at 3 places in 3 years. That's kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around, especially considering both of those places had head coaching issues, and they didn't want to turn it over to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of those made a mistake.
No doubt.
I don't think the other one did. And I look at what Jim Harbaugh, who runs an offense that looks like it fell out of 1992, is doing with less talent than he had. It's hard for me to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kellen Moore works in one specific place. And I think he works in one specific place for one very specific reason, and we'll get into that later in this hour.
Okay.
He was not on my list, and you left me a guy that I did not think was coming back. Cliff Kingsbury.
I was close. I was close with Cliff and Kellen.
It is really hard for me to look because I'm using transitive property here. All right, I've seen Dan Quinn as a head coach before. I have seen what his offenses look like before. I'm looking at what Washington can do right now, knowing full well that this is all Cliff. There's no way Dan Quinn's had a hand in any of this. And what he has been able to do with a rookie quarterback to help him digest information as an NFL quarterback, and the things that Jaden Daniels is doing behind the line of scrimmage, it's not showing up in a box score. It shows up when you watch the tape, and you're watching him diagnose things that he didn't diagnose at LSU. He was great at LSU. I'll be honest with you, as high on him as I was, I didn't see this coming.
Mm-hmm.
If I had, I wouldn't have just been beating the table. I'd have been locking people in the room going, we're taking Jaden Daniels 1. I didn't see that. He's been better than I thought. And I think it's because Cliff Kingsbury's offense, he may have been a little early to the party with Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to deal with very bad ownership. And I don't know that he was ready to be the head guy. And he didn't hire well. But now I look at you in the confines of just your offense and how it's working in Washington. I'm willing to give that another shot. If I'm a team that's drafting a quarterback, because I think all of these quarterbacks are horribly flawed, Cliff Kingsbury is probably the number one name on my list. Because Bill and Vrabel, I don't know how you're going to deal with a rookie. I'm watching him deal with a rookie. I'm watching him take a roster that's moderately more talented than it was a year ago as the second worst team in the NFL to probably winning this division. And maybe it's wrong of me, but I'm giving equal credit here to Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. I can't have Dan Quinn. I can have Cliff. And he would be super high on my list.
And you think in 1 year he's ready to get back on the head coaching bandwagon or train or whatever you want to call it?
Cliff Kingsbury is a good-looking dude that was a quarterback in the NFL, has supermodel girlfriends, or maybe even now wife. I think he married one of the girls that I've seen him with over the years. He lives in a ginormous house. He's ridiculously wealthy. And sometimes guys like that have to get kicked in the nethers to understand I'm not infallible. And I think he got that. I do. I think he got that kick and then taking a year off. That was important because this offense looks different now than it did in Arizona. He acts different than he did in Arizona. Him and Kyler Murray butted heads every single day. I don't see that with Jaden. And I don't know if it's you just got a different quarterback. I don't know.
I was going to say, I mean, Kyler, every story we heard about Kyler was that he's tough to deal with, right? Remember the whole thing about him not putting in time and to study playbooks and spending way too much time on the Call of Duty game and all of that. Sometimes guys don't mesh, right? Sometimes quarterbacks and coaches just can't see eye to eye. And maybe that was the case with Cliff Kingsbury, and I don't know.
A year of him underneath Dan Quinn, who I think runs an NFL team the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and look, I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a great leader. I think he's a great defensive mind. I think that's enough for Cliff to go, okay, this doesn't look the same way that my team's looked.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe now it's enough. Red C's voting to insert the Ted DiBiase laugh. I get he was terrible with Arizona.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think a lot of guys would have been terrible in Arizona. It's the worst ownership group in the league. That's not even debatable.
Right. But
And
somehow Gannon's come in and been fine.
And he was a young, egotistical guy. Gannon's a little different. Gannon is probably the most unassuming person I've ever seen in my entire life. And I think he's just a put your nose to the grindstone kind of guy. He's going to succeed wherever he goes because that's just the way he functions. I think he's a better coach than Cliff Kingsbury. The problem is that I can't have Jonathan Gannon. I can have Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, in a market that's not got a lot of options, I can easily get myself there. I mean, to me, this is the sixth pick we've made, and I think he's a great value at 6.
Yeah, I would agree with you. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. 3 picks in each in the daily draft. If you had a team and you were making a coaching hire in this cycle, who would you take? I've got Aaron Glenn, Joe Brady, Kellen Moore. Jeremy went old school, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, and Cliff Kingsbury, all retreads. We'll continue the Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale, coming up next.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Money Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Money Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Money Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
The Salvation Army of Asheville needs your help to spread love beyond Christmas. Volunteer a few hours to ring bells and raise funds for those that need them now more than ever. It's easy. Sign up at registertoring.com. Let's make a difference this holiday season that will support our community year-round.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
It's the 24th annual Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble, Thanksgiving morning, November 28th in downtown Asheville. The Turkey Trot starts at 9:15. The Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starts at 8:30. What a great way to kick off your holiday. Get out and move before you hit the buffet. Proceeds from this year's race benefit the Manna Food Bank once again. Help give back to the community and register today. Just log on to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is where it starts. Where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Engles, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Engles studio. The Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. If you had a team and you had to pick a coach in this coaching cycle, who you going with? Jeremy's up next. He's already made 3 picks. He's gone Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, Cliff Kingsbury. Your 4th selection of this 2025 NFL head coaching class is?
I feel as though at this point I have to take a guy to keep him away from you. I'm going Drew Petzing of the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, let's go.
I absolutely love what he's been able to do with that team. And I'll be honest with you, we said this last year. Because towards the end of the year, that offense looked way better.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done with a serviceable NFL quarterback in Kyler Murray, and I think he's actually better than that, is impressive. And I don't like hiring defensive coaches. I don't. I've said that for years. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. I do see the irony that I hired 2 defensive coaches to start this. But I told you, it's not exactly the greatest crop of coaches you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
I'm going to take a shot. If I have to take a shot on a young guy, that's the one I want.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 1-8 with Josh Dobbs and Clayton Tune. I think practically anybody would be. You take the body of work outside of that, and it's impressive enough for me to give you a shot.
That was a very good one, and he was not coming back to you.
I know he wasn't. Now I just hope there's another guy that I really like that will come back to me, and if he doesn't, I may say bad words.
Well, is it Bobby Slowick?
No.
Okay. Well, Bobby Slowick is my fourth selection. I get that the offense of the Houston Texans has not been what it was last year. It's not been, oh, my God, they're the greatest thing. But I don't think that shine comes off of Bobby Slowick. They faced a lot of injuries this year.
For sure.
And sure, maybe there is a little bit of sophomore slump there in C.J. Stroud.
For sure.
But still, among the offensive coordinators that are in this league, Bobby Slowick still has to be at the top of your list.
Okay.
Toward it.
All right. Let me ask you, and this would be I'll go ahead and tell you, Bobby Slowick was not on my list.
Wow. Okay.
He would have been my 13.
Yikes. Okay.
So far, you have not taken anybody that was not.
You're talking 13 overall.
13, yes.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Not my 13th pick.
I was going to say, geez.
The only one you've taken so far that I wouldn't hire at all was Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
I compared the two. Do I think Drew Petzing would be doing better things in Houston than Bobby Slowick is? I do.
You do.
Do I think Bobby Slowick would be doing better things in Arizona than Drew Petzing is? No, I don't. I also feel like you have a better ownership group. I feel like you have a more stable front office, and you have better players. It's not that I'm against hiring him, because I'm not. I think he could be a really good coach in the NFL. I would be more interested in him in 2026 because I'm looking at a regression this year that I don't know what it came from, and I don't want to just guess that it's all the things you said. I don't want to mess up this hire because I'm not one that fires coaches every 2 years.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to give you the chance to basically dig your own grave. And I could be super wrong on him because I've seen him be really, really good with C.J. Stroud, who is really, really good. I'm not going to be able to give you C.J. Stroud. If I'm hiring a coach, I don't have that guy. And I don't know what you do if you don't have that.
So he has to have, you think he might be a guy who has to have an elite
could be-ish
quarterback.
I've seen a lot of coordinators. Matt Nagy come away from teams that had really good quarterbacks. Then you go to a team that has a really bad quarterback, and you don't have a second move. That guy's fixing a lot of your ills at the line of scrimmage.
I saw his name on one of these lists.
I did too, and I laughed.
Chuckled.
I had to change chairs because I accidentally dude in it. Because I laughed until it.
It was a Matt Nagy, really? We're going to go down that path again.
Well, if we had 700 picks, I don't think I would get to Matt Nagy.
Yeah, it's not happening for me.
I would get to Charles Nagy, former Cleveland Indians pitcher, before I got to Matt Nagy.
Bobby Slowick, though, I feel like he's a guy that has to be on your list, and I think is going to be a good head coach in this league at some point. Now, I think I'm going to do that thing that you did and go a coach that has some experience in this league.
Okay.
And the lawsuit doesn't bother me. I'm going with Brian Flores.
You did exactly what I wanted you to do. Good. You fell right into my trap and took the two I did not want.
Brian Flores has rehabbed himself with the Minnesota Vikings. As it stands right now, there's still some time for the bloom to come off of this rose as the season goes on. You're kind of in a rough stretch right now. But for the moment, I think he's worked himself back into the conversation.
He has certainly worked himself into the conversation. But for me, I can't get over you're suing the league. I can't wrap my brain around that. And maybe I've employed too many people, and you get to a point where I sued my last employer. Awesome. I'm not going to be your next one under any circumstances ever.
Well, all you got to do is just not discriminate against me, and I'll be okay.
Okay, discriminate against me. That's a story for another day. Yeah, they asked you to lose. I get it. The roster sucked. You should have known that the day you took over. All right. And weird, an NFL owner wanted to lose games to have a higher draft pick. In other breaking news, water's wet, and today's Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. I flipped the days completely. Thought yesterday was Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. I can't work a calendar. Not good. You didn't take. I knew you wouldn't take one of the guys I wanted.
Okay.
Unequivocally.
Okay.
And it's a name that should be very familiar to you, but I'm going to take him second.
Okay.
Jeff Hafley. That was the one I was afraid you were going to take and burn me. I always have believed he is a phenomenal football mind. And what I've seen him do in Green Bay, look, I get it. The defense is not, you're not getting home, whatever. You watch that defense on tape, and it is masterful the way he is disguising things. I think he is going to be a really good NFL head coach one day. It's not going to be this year, but I would be willing to do it this year. He
wasn't even on my list.
I have always loved him. I loved him when he was at Boston College. I think he is a unbelievably good football mind. And taking the disaster he inherited from Joe Barry and doing with it what he has, give him another year. Wait till you see what it looks like in a year. I can only do so much in one offseason.
Right.
Give me another year. See what it looks like in 2025. And the final one, I feel almost 100% sure was not on your list, and it's a guy you've heard me say a lot.
Yep.
It's Mike Kafka.
Yeah.
I think you went to the Giants and the zeal has kind of run off your rose. I don't think anybody could have done anything with the New York Giants. I really don't. I don't think any offensive coordinator could make this work because your quarterback's awful. Your talent around him is not great. Your offensive line is awful. I don't hold that against Mike Kafka. I also know almost unequivocally that Brian Daboll is pulling the strings on this offense, and I think it would have been better with Mike Kafka. At this point, I feel like he's nothing more than a figurehead. Any guy that, and I guarantee you, when Brian Daboll gets fired, watch where Mike Kafka goes. It'll tell you everything you need to know because he'll be the next quarterback coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Because Andy Reid will go, ooh, gimme. And if Matt Nagy were to somehow get another job, I don't know, because he walked into a place with a stocking cap and a gun, he'd be the next offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard Andy Reid wax poetic about that guy and how he sees the NFL in a way that very few people do. I don't care that you went to the Giants and it went exactly how it would have gone for any other coach. I'm not holding it against you. I think that guy's going to get is going to get a bite at the apple one day, and it's probably going to be coming from Kansas City.
That is definitely one of those that I can remember. I believe I may have taken him in when we did this draft last year, but it was you went to the Giants, and that team's terrible, and you got that stink on you, and I can't see turning around and making you a head coach after that.
If I had Aaron Glenn or one of these defensive guys, I would give Mike Kafka anything he wanted.
Absolutely.
You want full control of the offense? Fine. But I was not good with the Giants. Nobody would be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think this goes. I think he's going to end up taking over one of these offenses.
Yep.
For a new coach.
Yep.
Or going back to Kansas City, he's going to rehab his image, and people are going to go, how did we miss that? Well, it's easy to do when you're in the poo sandwich that is the New York Giants 2024 offense.
Mm-hmm. My final selection in today's Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale.
Can I guess who it is?
Yes.
Todd Monken.
Bingo. That's it. It's Todd Monken. The guy he's earned it. This is another one of those, I feel like you've earned a shot at coaching your own team. He was an offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was able to have Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick combine for one of the best offenses, efficiency-wise, in the league while he was there. And then what? He went off to Atlanta, and that didn't go his way. And then he goes to the college ranks, and he wins 2 national championships with the Georgia Bulldogs, and had Stetson Bennett out there looking like the best quarterback in the country.
He was never in Atlanta.
I thought he did. Where did he go after Tampa?
No, I know who you're thinking of.
I'm thinking of Cutter.
Dirk Cutter.
I'm thinking of Dirk Cutter.
No, he was with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And then he went to Cleveland.
And
then he went to Georgia, and he came back with Baltimore.
Yes. But now he's in Baltimore, and that's one of the best offenses in the country, or in the league. And I feel like he's been around the block. He's won at every level. And I think it's time for him to get a shot. So Todd Monken would be on my list.
He was actually a good head coach in college. He was at Southern Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know do you remember how that went? He was the first one that did this. He took over a horrible Southern Miss team.
Mm-hmm.
They went 9-4, I think. 9-4, 9-5. I remember 9 wins for some reason.
Right.
And that's when he took the Tampa Bay job.
Yes.
He was the first group of 5 coach that took a coordinator job in the NFL, and nobody could believe, why would anybody do that? Well, now you see why.
Yeah.
Because he saw the writing on the wall. It's not fun to have to work 12 months out of the year. I like having a little time off in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that in college.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not that I have an opposition to Todd Monken. My problem with Todd, and it should tell you a lot, that Baltimore Raven fan Stephen Tao said, well, you can't have him. Meanwhile,
I don't think that's going to be your call, but
meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinal fans
the
were like, take Drew Petzing. That makes me a little nervous about that.
Because honestly, as a Georgia fan, I'm going, God damn, why can't we have him? Why can't we have him back? Please.
Then again, you'd be saying the same thing about Jeremy Green if it was in comparison to Mike Bobo.
Yes, because I hate him so much.
He's your pit guy. He's your pit guy.
My pit guy?
Yeah, if a guy ever ends up in a pit, you're suspect number 1. Like Silence of the Lambs. If I see a basket with lotion in it, I'm going to immediately go, Tank Spencer put you here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. You run a really mundane offense.
Todd Bowles is going to be first.
You got a lot of pit guys. You should probably talk to a therapist about that.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Oh, wait.
We'll wrap up NFL Coach Matchmaker when we come back.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off to showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning up near 50, so some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get matched with your perfect bed and save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. See store for details.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
With 2 convenient locations, Singleton's Automotive will keep your vehicle on the road. Singleton's offers routine maintenance, BG services, tires, inspections, alignments, and more in their family-owned shops. Singleton's Automotive is hiring technicians for both locations. Receive competitive pay and benefits depending on experience. Visit singletonsautomotive.com. That's singletonsautomotive.com. Car care with character.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Engles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Engles. Low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live in the Engles studio. Want to take this quick moment to remind everybody, Saturday, if you're not doing anything, or if you got a bunch of stuff to do on Saturday and you're going to be out and about, why not take a ride by the Social in East Asheville?
Take a beer halftime. That's my favorite thing to do. Hey, I need you to do 7 things. Cool. After the 4th one, I'm going to go drink 3 beers. And then I'll do the rest of them with a much bigger smile on my face.
On Saturday, all day long, at 11 o'clock, we're going to do a live from the Social on the YouTubes, uncensored, previewing the day's activities. It's going to be so much fun hanging out with our good friends over at the Social.
And it may also lead to for the rest of the show, Saturday show, that we do that thing on. If there's a lot of you, then we'll keep doing it. I don't know if you've learned that. We kind of throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. That's what happens when you have 2 people doing the job of 7.
Right. We'll be doing some live shows on the YouTubes from down there. The Parks Ford of Hendersonville mobile studio will be parked outside of the Social, and we're going to be hanging out for all the festivities and all the way through the Tennessee-Georgia game on Saturday night in support of the Valley Strong Relief Foundation. So come on by, hang out with us, support our friends. You acted like you wanted to say something there.
I said we do the job of 7 people in Gambit City, and you get paid for 1. No, we actually get paid quite nicely.
Yes.
We have great sponsors that take care of us. If we didn't, then we would have starved to death by now because we are overweightmen and we eat a lot.
And some would say that maybe I am overpaid for my one job.
Well, I mean, you only do it about 30% of the time.
I knew it was coming. Oh, shoot. See, I can't. My short T-Rex arms won't reach the bell over here.
It's not hard. Just.
Well, it's easy to do when you pull it over in front of you, cheater.
One job.
All right, it is time to get back into our fun little game. It's time for our next contestant on NFL Head Coach Matchmaker.
Sin City looks for someone that can bask in the casino glow and fix a pitiful offense that'll probably feature a big-name quarterback. It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
A big-name quarterback.
I fully believe Shedeur Sanders is going to be the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, and there is no better coach for me to implement there than the one you tried to hire last year, and you boo-boo-kidded it because you let him get out of the building and go to Washington, Cliff Kingsbury. If I'm Las Vegas, is there a better way to fix this? I mean, look, Antonio, I think it's funny, and I'm not going to hear anybody ever say this because people hate to admit they were wrong. Antonio Pierce is exactly what you would have gotten if you had hired who was the special teams coordinator that everybody wanted? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia. Nobody will ever admit, hey, you showed us what that would look like, and it wasn't awesome. So maybe we should hire a true offensive coach. And I'll be honest with you, I think that would be a perfect place for Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator. And trust me, the way his defense works, you give me Max Crosby and Tyree Wilson and Christian Wilkins, that could be fun. Like a whole lot of fun. Look, the Raiders aren't going to be good in a year. There's not. That roster's bereft of talent in places. The back half of the defense. That's another reason I say I love the hire of Robert Saleh to be his defensive coordinator. I've watched him make linebackers out of nobodies. I love that pairing, and I can't get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a guy that's been an NFL head coach, can kind of rein Cliff in, and he'll let Cliff just do what Cliff does. Tutor the young quarterback and bring along Shador. Shador's the most talented quarterback in this class. Non-debatable.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a head case, and it makes me a little bit nervous to put him in Las Vegas. But geographically, his dad's still going to be at Colorado, so you're pretty close there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that fit. If I'm the GM of the Raiders, it's like Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas said about Malachi Corley. No matter what, this is how this is going, and I don't care what it costs.
As a Raider hater, I love this idea.
Yeah, I do, and I think that's the way you fix this thing.
You put a failed head coach, two failed head coaches in charge of a dog water franchise. I mean, what could go wrong, honestly? It's probably the most Raider thing that can happen. We go out and get Cliff Kingsbury because we think he's going to fix it, and he ain't no better than Josh McDaniel. We go out and get Rob Saleh to come in, and he ain't no better than Patrick Graham. I mean, Patrick Graham hasn't done a terrible job.
No.
I don't think. I mean, he hasn't had much to work with, and I put that a lot on Dolph Ziggler. Or what was his name? What was the GM's name there?
Dave Ziegler.
Dave Ziegler. That was it.
Yeah, he's been gone.
I know, but he was there when Patrick Graham first started, and I don't think he's gotten a whole lot to work with. He's had Max Crosby. He's had Malcolm Kuntz. And who's the other one you like to pump up? Oh, yeah, Tyree Wilson.
I'd also be remiss if I didn't point out, you do know who drafted Cliff Kingsbury, right? New England Patriots.
Okay.
Who's going to have a real big say in this? Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be shocked if a former quarterback's not the head coach of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Just some of the things I've heard him say. But I digress.
Fair enough. The Las Vegas Raiders going with Clean Kingsbury.
I don't know who that guy is, but he's not nearly as good as Cliff Kingsbury.
And next up on NFL Matchmaker.
A glamour franchise looking for days gone by, trying to relive its better youth. The New York Football Giants. I can't see it being anybody but one name.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick. That's the next head coach of the New York Giants. I'll bet you anything you want.
Really?
That's where he wants to be. That's who the ownership wants. And I think it's the one place that can look at him and go, Bill, you're a terrible talent evaluator, but you're a damn good coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we got pieces. Malik Neighbors would be one of the best receivers you've ever had. And I think you can implement all of that. Bill wants another bite at the apple to prove he can do it. He's not going to Dallas with Jerry Jones. Because how many times have you heard him over the course of his time in the media hammer front offices and hammer ownership groups? Which one do you never hear him say that about? The New York Giants. And it's probably a whole reunion of former Patriot guys. Wouldn't shock me in the least. And I'm okay with that. Because I'm looking at a division going, I don't know. I mean, I like Dan Quinn, but I don't know how great of a coach he is. I don't buy Nick Sirianni at all. And whatever winds up in Dallas is probably going to be a retread Jerry Jones yes man. I can take one advantage. I'll have the best head coach in this division. And we'll see what this group can put together.
Now, I want to prove that I can do it. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 72 years old, though.
Doesn't matter. He'll do this until he's 80.
You think so?
Bill Belichick and Joe Paterno are the same guy that way. Okay. This ain't like Nick Saban. Nick Saban has a life, and Bill Belichick eats, sleeps, and breathes football. That's the reason he's on 47 podcasts. He's on Pat McAfee. He's on the Manning Cast. He's on ESPN every time they don't lock the door. It's because he eats, sleeps, and breathes this. He's going to find a spot. Find me another spot that makes even a little bit of sense. The Giants tried to hire him a few years ago, and it was closer to happening than any of you think.
Really?
That was still
Stealing
when Tom
away?
was in. Yes, that was when Tom was still in New England before it went. Not awesome.
Right.
And I think that was the start of it. That's the reunion that makes all of the sense.
All right.
Bill Belichick, New York Giants.
All right, next up on the Matchmaker game.
The old curmudgeon of the group looking for someone to celebrate his twilight years with that needs to be very agreeable and willing to do whatever he says. It's the Dallas Cowboys. I want to know. I didn't tell you the name here.
You did not tell me.
I want to know. Pick me a name that I ain't said yet. When you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. He loves guys that are homegrown Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, it's Kellen Moore.
It's Kellen Moore. I don't see any way this doesn't happen. I can hurt a rival because I'll take your offensive coordinator. You have to implement a third playbook in 3 years. And I get one of my good. I believed in him when no one else did. He's a Dallas Cowboy, and he won't make me put curtains up in this stadium.
Oh, 100%.
He'll also give me a sponge bath at 1 o'clock because I told him to, and he's a good boy.
Yikes. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Everybody says Belichick to the Cowboys. I can't buy it. I cannot see any way that Bill Belichick goes, yeah, let me get this last bite of the apple with Jera. I don't buy it. I also look at every high-end coach and go, which one of you is going to tie yourself to this dumpster fire? Kellen Moore's the one that got the most out of Dak Prescott.
Aren't they friends, though? Aren't Bill and Jerry friends?
They are friends. All right, I'm going to say this the nicest way humanly possible. If you and I are friends, if you were the GM of an NFL football team, you and I don't see the sport exactly the same way. So I'm going to need a whole mess of control that I don't think you're going to be willing to give me.
Right.
Friends are friends, and never mind. No good. No good can come with that.
I have no idea where that was going, and I think I'm kind of glad. I think I'm kind of glad for that. Okay. I mean, Bill Belichick, that would be the ultimate, though, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be the ultimate? I can do it on my own, is to try to bring the Dallas Cowboys back into championship pedigree?
I've seen Jerry do this. I physically watched him do this. If you go back and look at the 30-plus years that he's been the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, every time he hires a name, he goes back to somebody that's been in that organization. The only other name I had was Chris Richard, and I don't think you can – I don't know how you could sell that.
Right.
Kellen Moore, I know how you can sell. I also see him trying to stick it to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Gambit fan basically said he will never forgive me for putting that evil in the universe. I hate to break it to you, I didn't put it in the universe. I put 2 and 2 together, and it was pretty easy for me to do.
Yep.
And I promise you, I won't be the only one that does it.
All right, one more to go on the Matchmaker game.
The hardest job in the game to describe a lot of talent, a lot of discipline. I don't know why this turned into Donald Trump.
Not sure either.
This is a job that needs a lot of love and a lot of innovation. It's the Chicago Bears. Somehow I turned into Donald Trump. Huge disappointment. Huge talent. Easy to sell. I just go through every president I know.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. You don't know. They don't know. Mike McDaniels. He's the only coach I have getting fired in this that I see getting an immediate rebite at the apple. And I'm not going to lie to you, in that simplified offense, I love the fit. You got all those toys. You don't have the speed burner, but you have zone busters, which is what Mike McDaniel does so well. And I think he needs a change of scenery. I really do. I think he got everything he wanted. And I hate to draw this back to Aaron Rodgers, but sometimes getting everything you want is not beneficial because you don't have a check and balance. So you wanted Tyreek Hill, you wanted Jalen Waddle, you wanted to pay Tua Tagovailoa. Well, I mean, the reason that we don't let children decide what they want is because they would eat cookies for dinner. Mike McDaniel is a really good coach, but he's an offensive coach. And he's an offensive coach that blindly believes in his scheme. And I think you've given him too much. And now there's no innovation to it. He thinks he can just trot out there like he's the Harlem Globetrotters. So you go to a spot in Chicago that it's a complete reset. And I think they would love him in Chicago. They never hire offensive guys, ever. And so you get a guy that's already proven. I mean, he took the Dolphins to the playoffs. He's already shown that he can put together a very good offense. And you put him in a place that you were promised a good offense, and this is what you got. I keep hearing people around the Bears that are fans or whatever the case may be. You're stupid if you think they would fire a coach in season. No, you're stupid if you think continuing to do the same thing that you've done for 55 years with 1 year of success is what you're going to continue doing. I met the lovely, what's his name, McCaskey? Isn't that his name? The owner of this team, the one that Virginia's son.
Yeah.
I met him at the Hall of Fame. Didn't say a word to a soul. The only reason I even knew who he was after we spoke is because Tank and I were with two Bear fans that told us that's the owner of the Chicago Bears. That dude that I had a 5-minute conversation with in the hallways of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I got news for you. He does not give a rat's rear end what you did 10 years ago. That dude is very modern. That dude is very analytical driven. That dude is not what you think he is. And this is a match that I remembered that meeting when I was trying to do this. And I went, God, Mike McDaniel strikes me as exactly the kind of guy that guy would fall in love with in a meeting.
All right, there you go.
That was when you had gotten lost. We misplaced Tank for, 2 hours in the Hall of Fame. And the two awesome guys that we met from Chicago, they were just randomly talking to a dude. I saw him, walked up. We just kept yucking it up. And when he walked away, they went, that's the owner of the Chicago Bears. Ooh.
Interesting.
We should have told me that to begin with because I'd have gotten the phone number, bruh.
All right, so to recap the matches, the Bears and Mike McDaniel, the Cowboys and Kellen Moore, New York Giants go Bill Belichick, Cliff Kingsbury gets the job with the Raiders, the Browns go with Mike Vrabel, Aaron Glenn gets the Saints job, Joe Brady with the Jets, Ben Johnson goes back to Miami to head coach for the Dolphins, and the Jacksonville Jaguars go with Brian Flores. That's it for this latest episode of NFL Head Coach Matchmaker here in the Sportsocracy.
By the way,
Asheville.
By the way, that guy's name was Michael McCaskey.
Michael.
Nope.
McCaskey.
Michael was the one that died. It was the other one.
Oh.
George. I just looked at the list.
There.
George McCaskey.
There you go. Did you know the Emirates NBA Cup is here, and you can win big getting in on the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split into 6 groups. Group play started last night. No, the Hornets did not win. They got beat by the Orlando Magic. But every Tuesday and Friday, they're all playing for the right to advance into the single elimination in-season tournament, culminating with the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. And again, you can win big with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. First time, something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
We'll be back with you tomorrow at noon right here on ESPN Asheville.
Well, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, board certified.
Meet Dr. John Herzog, who's certainly done his share of knee and hip replacements. But these days, he's encouraging his patients to look at regenerative medicine options, now available at QC Kinetics.
I'm kind of the anti-surgeon right now, and a lot of my buddies, if they hear me talking, they're going to give me a call.
Dr. Herzog says advances in regenerative medicine can give your achy joints lasting relief, using highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
We take the fluid out of you, we concentrate it and put it in an area where they couldn't normally get to and facilitate healing.
Are you suffering from constant pain due to arthritis or injury? Maybe it's time to look at alternatives to drugs and surgery at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in these exciting treatments.
What could be more natural than using your own body to heal yourself?
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
FEMA is hiring people in Durham, Hickory, and Asheville to support North Carolina's Tropical Storm Helene recovery efforts. Many different positions are available for a wide range of skill sets, including planning, communications, logistics, and community engagement. Be a part of helping your community heal and rebuild. To see all open positions and to apply, visit usajobs.gov and type keywords FEMA and a local hire, and then enter your location as North Carolina.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
At Engles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Engles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain on the way. Doesn't look like we'll have a flood risk with this event as it comes on through, but probably some of the best rain we've seen, or the heaviest rain we've seen since Helene. Some spots could approach an inch. 55 with a breeze and sunny this afternoon. Rain after midnight tonight, probably after 2:30 a.m., 40 degrees. And we'll have occasional rain around, tapering off the showers tomorrow. Little fog in the morning up near 50, so some extra time tomorrow morning. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.